Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this, the 17th episode of Blood on the Thames, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in London, England. With me tonight,
Carlos playing Moses of Clan Nosferatu.
Peter playing Benjamin of Clan Malkavian.
Rachel playing Katya of Clan Tremere.
Philip playing Jim Roy Woods of Clan Gangville.
So, as promised, I've behaved myself and not unboxed the outer bundle, which I've got, beside taking the exterior wrapping. So I'm going to show it now because it was requested. So part of the outer bundle is this awesome notebook that's got character sheets. It's got the grid papers and everything else in it. So basically a thing for keeping your character information in. I've got the ST screen. Wow. Yeah, on time, guys. We're demolishing the set now, so this is how excited I am. I've got the ST screen, which I will unveil.
Nice.
So,
Exactly. Sorry, guys.
so the new art, because it's changed since the initial kind of pictures, which still looks good. So, sorry. So, awesome art.
Okay, that looks sick.
Yeah.
That looks
Your
good.
favourite thing, fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that-
kind of seems quite fitting.
It feels
doesn't
like it's like one for each member of the coterie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jim is the fire. just.
The sexy lips probably belong to
Hi, guys.
Benjamin
We might
because they
need-
belong to his rival.
We might need a technical ghoul.
Maybe.
Technical ghoul might be needed.
A technical, you
A
would say.
A technical.
When I finished demolishing the set, so you've got the tables on the inside.
Oh,
And a bus on the outside.
So nice shiny tails.
I cannot read. Not from this distance.
Then you've also got the actual main bit itself. Just in case.
It looks hefty.
Yeah, it is.
What's that, like 2 aggravated damage instantly?
Yes, if you wield it. There's some sort of wield. Core rulebook. Finally, I have my copy. Yay! God, that is so fake. Enthusiasm, guys. Come on. Camarilla.
Nice.
Oh!
That's the nice one.
There you go.
I love the art. I love all the art.
Oh my god, the art.
It's certainly grown on me since. And, fittingly, the Anarch.
I mean.
No.
Boo.
Boost.
Again, believe
We shall see.
And then
Right, guys,
finally,
you're so lawful.
Cammy's
Nah,
forever.
These
Yeah,
guys.
Anarchs, yeah, sure.
not in the case because it's my case. And
Ooh.
the dice. Finally,
Nice.
which are actually darker than I thought they would be based on the pictures.
Really?
Yeah, they're
well,
good.
I think they're darker than.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very, very nice.
So,
Lots of hunger.
everything's alright, guys. I behaved
Is that
myself.
when you unveil the screen, the storyteller screen?
Yeah.
Do you does it come with something else? Because I think I
Yes.
saw something
Yes,
else.
It does.
Technical.
Then we will have.
Was it not on?
We could hear you.
Okay. There's also an ST Storyteller's Toolkit, so it's got like
Oh, nice.
names and locations and shizzle in there. So yes, and that is everything. I behaved. I didn't open it. So I'm a man of my word, Batty.
I think that requires some aggravated willpower damage to do so, but he's
Yes. So that is all unveiled. So now with that in mind, we have some shout outs and a recap to do.
Yeah, definitely. So we have 2 new subscribers. One is amazing name, Stego Sorcerer.
Thank you.
Nice, thank you. And the other one is Seitakiryu.
Yay.
Nice name. They couldn't pronounce it, so I ended up saying it. Thank you very much for subscribing, and I hope you like today's episode. Are we gonna do the recap?
We are. So this is the recap for episode 16, and it began with Jim taking Benjamin and Katya to visit his gravestone.
I lost my script. Thank you very much. Oh yeah.
Peter's face.
Moses, yeah, sorry about that. Moses tells Deacon about the Sabbat, and he agrees to send Alice to investigate the tunnels between Reading and London.
Jim, at this point, has become desperate to find more information about his sister Susan, so he breaks into Moses' room and starts reviewing the camera footage.
Meanwhile, Katya goes to visit Sabine. and learns that Will is apparently not influenced by the blood bond, whether to Oliver or the clan. Oliver doesn't know this, and she agrees to try and exploit this situation in Sabine's favour.
Meanwhile, Benjamin goes to deliver a picture or a copy of the picture of the Sabbat to Edmund, but he finds Edmund is not at his gallery because Edmund is off with this floozy new artist, and Benjamin manages to learn her name, which is Abigail, and also her address, and he goes there just for a quick look.
Moses returns home, and there's an intruder. So he valiantly jumps and smashes him in the face. It turns out to be Jim who just smashes him back. And then, well, they end up with a lot of blood in their faces.
Afterwards, Jim meets with Detective Sergeant James and makes a deal to find out where his sister is.
But Moses is digging into the footage Jim was trying to get his hands on, and he realizes that the person that is accompanying his sister is Alicia, Jim's sire.
Whereby the coterie then reunites, and there is a heated discussion interrupted by the police, who are searching for a missing woman, Catherine Whitman, who happens to be the young woman Moses accidentally murdered the night previously in a hunger frenzy.
So the police leave, at least for now, and that leaves the coterie to continue their house meeting. And that's where we ended the session.
That is indeed. So, everything rounded up?
Yes.
I like how you make the fire just face us.
I know, right? It's fitting.
Yeah,
As,
definitely.
You know, as was pointed out, slightly meta last
Make it
session.
face Jim.
Yeah.
Only gin. So, as was mentioned at the end of last session, you just had a meeting of an unexpected meeting with Richard Whitman and a young man that had come in his company. It was clear from the warrant card, obviously, that Richard Whitman was a law enforcement officer, a police constable, and the revealing of the picture to each member of the coterie betrayed, not only to you, that your coterie did know who this individual was. At least one of them did.
One of them, yeah.
At least one of them did. Although technically, you got how many success? I think you got 2.
I think so.
Like last session, and because you tied with Katia, you are the active party, so you would have also noticed a switch on Katia's.
Okay.
So,
Although these days, Catherine twitches at everything.
so
Moses is always innocent.
you can hear upstairs. You watch as the police constable in his plainclothes steps out with one last look from the young man back in the direction of the broken door leading down into the basement. He doesn't say anything else, but just steps out. And Mrs. Morovsky, watching them go, starts handing out or making her way towards the stairway. And she leaves a stack close by. It takes a few more handfuls and starts making her way towards the rooms where people are. And you can hear her knocking as she goes between the doors. What are you doing, Benjamin?
I'm going to very quickly nip back to my room to get an
Okay.
important piece of paperwork,
Okay, so you rush back up to your room.
and then I'm going to go back to the coterie.
Okay, so you all hear and the swinging of the door upstairs from its not fully broken hinge, but sufficiently that it's really hard to make it stick without forcibly putting it in place. You're back downstairs. What do you want to do?
I'll go back down to these.
Yep. So you're back downstairs with them.
Right. Okay. Well, I think there's lots to talk about, and I think we should all do it in order because so let's because obviously we are going to talk about what just happened in some detail. Yes. But before we do that, I think we should go back to what we were talking about before, which is ground rules, really, because obviously, as I'll lower my voice slightly. I'll say in common law, obviously, if one is to break someone else's property, they have to pay for it. But in other law, you could consider, given that this is our domain, that this would be a breach of the tradition to smash your way into someone else's domain. So whichever way you look at it, this is something that we can't tolerate and needs to be resolved. So we're all agreed, obviously, Jim, you are going to replace and fix the door, yes? That is appropriate, given that you broke it.
Do I look like a guy with a lot of money?
I'm not asking if you have money, I'm saying it's your responsibility to we can discuss you finding money later.
Besides, I know you mug your meals. I'm sure you can find some money.
So we're all agreed that's how this works, and you're going to pay, one way or another, and we can discuss those details, for the replacement of that door. And that in future, we are not, under any circumstances, going to destroy each other's property. We share this place, but our rooms are our own, yes? Yes?
Absolutely.
Good. And everyone's agreed, I want that clear. Yes? Jim?
Right.
Sorry, I'm a little unclear. That can mean lots of things. Is that a yes?
Fine.
Good. Wonderful. So in that case, Katya, seeing as we're getting everything square, here you are. I'm going to give you a receipt. It's from the Glaziers. It's for my window. Do you remember the one you smashed with your hammer?
Yes,
Yes.
I remember.
Good. So I'd like to, if we could see that replaced, that'd be wonderful.
Of course, I'll get round
Thank
to
you.
that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good. Right now we've established some house rules.
Moses is trying to not to laugh too much because I think he broke something. Well, he broke something around here. So we're like.
So the other thing is, obviously that was the police. So we should. Oh, maybe I'm getting out of order. We should probably talk about some other bits first, like, the poacher, for example, and things like that. Like, what are we going to do
Yes,
about
if we actually start working together at any point soon, we should probably look into that.
that? Exactly. Yes. So we should work together, and we should do something about it. That's what I'm kind of leading to.
Okay. How about since I'm going out hunting later in this evening, I just case the area, see our cameras, how they are, maybe change the setup a little bit, so people that think that are walking away from a camera are actually walking sideways or things like that.
Yes. That's
So
good.
probably like cut their way in and out
Indeed.
to increase our chances of finding them, and look for new places for new cameras that are out of sight. So in the future we can start working towards that and then hook them up.
Regarding feeding, Katya, did you say there's a new rule that we're not supposed to feed alone? Did you say that? I imagine.
Don't remember saying that.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry. I thought. Okay. Should it be a new rule? I'm just thinking. Hasn't there been some issues with feeding recently?
To be quite honest, the latest feeding issues actually arose because we were feeding together and there was some poor judgment.
I agree. I agree with Benjamin. As long as if you are gonna hunt on your own, whilst almost at the grip of the beast,
Yes.
take
certainly.
someone who is far away from it.
So if you're
Yes.
very hungry, get help.
Yes,
Okay.
that I would agree.
All right. All right.
No, I would agree that if two people are not that hungry, they could help each other. But if you have two very hungry people, you're actually making it worse.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Yes, understood. Understood. Can I have a quick look at the coterie? Not very subtly. Is anyone displaying signs of extreme hunger?
Do intelligence plus insight.
Intelligence plus insight.
Yeah.
Okay. 1.
Yeah, I mean it's not hard for you to tell. This is Jim.
Yeah, you should get like extra dice to see if he's
I
hungry.
am quite paranoid.
I mean,
about
it is
Jim of
pretty
everybody.
straightforward. I mean, Jim looks kind of. It's more apparent, I think, in Jim, primarily because of his clan Bane and just the nature of his clan, that his mannerisms become inherently more predatory, regardless.
I'll say, and on that note, is anyone feeling like they would need some assistance to feed, at the moment? Jim. out of interest. I just wondered.
I thought you might notice.
So is that a yes again? I do like a sort of clear yes, no in matters of importance.
Well, yes, if you're offering.
Well, I could, I suppose. I suppose I could help you. If no one else.
Depends what we're doing this evening.
Well, yes.
We need to make our mind up.
Can you help me with the map of the area I have, so we can change the angles of the cameras?
Of course, yeah, I can assist with cameras as well.
Oh, there is something else actually regarding cameras.
Yeah.
There's a room in the crossed hands I'd like you to have a camera set up for.
Okay.
Because I think there's a possibility that the person that has been, following me might be in that room in the future.
Someone's following you?
Yes, yeah, I told you. You know, the one who I can't remember their face. You can't see it.
Oh, that was a while ago. Yeah. Is he still behind you?
Oh, not literally, but I mean,
Okay.
they're around. Yes. And I think that business in the tunnels, it's happened again with them. I think they might be there.
How about this? How about we do a setup, a camera in each of our rooms, and it'll not come to the feed. It'll come to a feed in your room, so you always can see stuff going in your room.
But it's not
Someone
my
coming
room.
in or out.
But it's not my room they're coming to. It's a different room.
The rest of the rooms of the place, I can wire them into.
Great, wonderful. That's all. I'm not sure. I like the idea of a camera in my room, if I'm very honest.
Well,
Seems a bit,
you will have it will be your camera for your protection.
Even so, it's a little bit. I don't want to watch myself sleep or whatever. It's
Suit yourself.
All right. Well, good. So we've talked about. Oh yes, the police. I remember. So, So when I showed you all the picture, I noticed some of you seemed perhaps to recognise it, and given that the police have come to our door, I'd rather, and I have no idea what's going on, but perhaps you could explain? They seemed very motivated, these police officers.
We have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh no, I know you don't, but I'm not so convinced that
I was
else...
with them. They have no idea what you're talking about.
I think they might.
Jim is really hungry. He's gonna jump at the possibility of feeding from that police officer.
Oh, you're gonna blame this one on me.
No, I'm saying that you might have been a little bit hungry when you were shown that picture. Am I being untruthful?
You're being childish, both of you.
Yeah.
Both
It's
of
okay,
you.
Benjamin. We will find that girl on the CCTV or the setup of the camera.
Yes, but I don't know. So are you saying that none of us know anything that's going on here? Is
That's
that what
what
we're
I'm
saying?
saying exactly.
You know you've seen something in their expressions.
Look, Moses, I know that you haven't, honestly, and it was a surprise to you as much as it was to me, but I think that we have to be honest. We've talked about putting things forward. If we don't, you said, Katya, if we don't say to each other what's going on, then we put everyone in danger.
Indeed. In the interest of transparency,
Yeah.
Yes.
Moses killed her.
What?
That's
Her
what
body's in
happened.
the tunnels.
And I know you regret what you did, Moses, but I keep to my word, and I'm not going to lie about this one.
I was very hungry.
It happens.
Katya was helping me to hunt. Jim was also very hungry, so he fed on the person Katya brought to me. That made things worse. By the time they found me, I had already killed the girl.
Right. Well, you should probably know that the officer who seems to be leading this investigation is a relative of the victim, and I don't think they're going to let this go. You should probably also know that we're going to have to be very careful, you know, from now on, in the immediate future, because they're going to be looking at, and I would strongly advise both of you not to go outside with your faces as they are, you know, with the blood and business.
I never go out even when my face is okay.
Sorry, that's a bad choice of words, Moses. I'm sorry, in your case. I'm sorry.
I'll
sorry.
take care of the business with Catherine. I will try to get her father to look elsewhere for clues. I still have an ace up my sleeve.
Oh, all right. But yes, you should be especially careful, Jim, because obviously the police already have a profile, you know, they're building, and well, I'm just saying things like that will draw attention, and they're going to be on the streets looking and asking people for anything suspicious.
Well, I could heal it, but at the moment, that would
Whether
risk
you-
another body.
Whether you heal it or not, you are also in danger of the fact that your sister might not be the only one to realise that you're not dead soon.
Oh yes, yes. And if you can't heal it yet, you should at least clean it up a little, because blood on the face. You see, that's the thing that people will remember that.
Yeah, it's not going to keep flowing. Just wash your face.
But we're going to have to be especially careful in terms of feeding because there will be police on the streets, and also they'll have been talking to people, and so people will be paying attention more than normal. So we're going to have to be especially careful.
Well, this is why, in case you haven't noticed, we have 2 emergency feeding potentials.
2 emergency feeding potentials?
Who's staying here, other than us?
Oh, no, what, no, you mean the... I'll point upstairs.
The guests, yes.
Oh, well, I mean, I suppose, but it seems extremely... I'm sure there's some kind of phrase for this kind of thing.
Uno no come donde caga. You don't shit where you eat.
Yes, that one. That one.
I would rather not. However, they are in a perfect place for an emergency feed.
Or you could just get better at breeding rats.
Oh, no.
Set up a little farm downstairs.
Oh.
Yeah, I am not the one who's particularly good at that. That falls more into Moses' forte.
Well, all right. Well, let's.
I think first things first, you should help Jim feed.
All right.
We can start looking into the poacher issue.
So you're going to do that. We're going to do that. Is there it? Oh, what about this business? This business with your sister. Is this something that we need to do something about? What's the situation there?
Could I?
Rerouting the cameras might help some way.
Yes, and Moses, could I get a copy of the footage you have? Please. I have a contact who is going to be looking into it. Which is where I was when you messaged me. It's currently burning quite a hole in my wallet. What little there is.
Why didn't you call first? Jesus. I walk to the computer and start.
And I think in future, if you want people to help, asking is always a good first point of. And because even if it's urgent, let's say, if you destroy people's homes and the sense of their own personal security, they're very unlikely to help you in the future. So it's really a long game thing. I understand we have to think about the long game now.
Are you giving him everything?
No.
No.
I'm giving him the frame in which his sister's face is half visible.
Okay.
The best shot. That frame. I cannot fit that much in floppy disks.
That's fine.
And
You're not giving the one with.
It does not deserve ACD.
You're not burning the one with the reflection.
What are you talking about? There's nothing with a reflection in any of those places.
Okay.
It's like a very, very. I try to make it as high quality as possible. Face of his sister.
It doesn't take too long. You've already got most of it on screen anyway
so
that you've been working through.
Give the probably it's gonna be a diskette or maybe a CD, like a cheap one. And when I offer it, it's like next time call before you break in. I check the timestamps of you coming in my phone. You call me after. That's not an excuse. And I throw it to him.
Thank you.
Right. Well, looks like we've got some kind of. Is there anything that you need, Katya? Any?
Sorry, just to clarify, was that the CCTV footage or just stills?
Stills in which I could get the best resolution possible. So if they manage, I doubt it unless it was like a double density floppy disk or like a CD. If it's a CD, I would put like stills and also like the little bit of footage of it.
Okay, final question.
And a second bit of the footage of her walking away. Nothing in which Alicia shows up. Nothing that shows that she's with somebody.
So, do you have the footage just from inside the crossstands, or the external footage as well in the outer streets?
No, just the one
just
on
the crossstands.
Of course, because that's the one we have. Because we are the owners of the place, and this area is wired with CCTV for your own safety.
So you won't be able to provide him with the snaps of her looking to the side anyway, because that was when she was almost out of the domain.
I make that a blurry snapshot.
Okay.
Well, is that the one with the best picture of her face?
That's the only time she showed her face to the camera.
Forget it. Only the footage inside of it.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so you hand him over this the cheap CD. Is there anything else you say? Anything else you want to discuss?
You said earlier, Katia, that you wanted us to be completely open.
Yes.
The floor is yours. Is there anything you would like to be open about?
No, you might be surprised to hear this, given the preconceptions about my clan, but I have no secrets from you guys. I just want to exist here in peace.
I do think it's worth saying again, we're going to have to be very, very careful over the next few nights because the police are going to be... It's going to be like it was before, do you remember? After the fires and everything else, where there were just officials everywhere. But this is going to be worse because it's not just going to be police we have to worry about, it's going to be everybody watching on the behalf of the police.
I give Benjamin a walkie-talkie.
Perhaps the body should turn up then to close the investigation.
Here.
Why do I have this?
You know how to use that, right?
Well, there's only one button.
Exactly. So you have a very big incentive of using it if something goes wrong with his fitting.
Oh, I see.
You won't waste time dialing a phone. It will be no record electronically.
I see. And there's no danger that this won't, the police won't hear this or anything?
No, I'm using one of their... never mind, it will not be heard.
All right, good. Okay, I'll do that. I'll look for a... It's quite chunky, I'm assuming. So it doesn't fit into any pockets very easily.
Not very easily. It pokes out. Go wire.
No. All right. I'll
I mean, it's a long-range one. It'll work for all the domains.
I'll get a bag. It's fine.
So.
Go hunt.
Right. Yes. We should probably go and hunt.
Good
Yes.
luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
You'll be fine.
Yes. I'm sure it will all be fine.
I go wash my face first before I go up.
So
Okay.
you've gone upstairs.
Okay. So you're heading upstairs and then straight up to your room?
Straight to her.
Okay. So as you both emerge? Or
No, I'm staying.
You're staying
down for a minute.
Okay. You emerge upstairs to find Cindy Totterdale and Andy Welsh already there speaking with Mrs. Morovsky. And they seem to just be having general chatter with her. There is someone else that is that's entered into the building. It looks like a man in his late 20s or early 30s, kind of hard to tell. Quite a dishevelled look, but he's just there waiting to speak to Miss Morovsky. He doesn't seem that keen on interrupting. He's got his hands in the pockets of his jacket. He's just stood there. He's just glancing around the place, and then as you come round, he just glances over at you, notes the kind of bloodied appearance, but says nothing. Mrs. Morovsky follows it again, and that draws the attention of the other two, who kind of glance over. Don't quite catch a glance as you go upstairs. They do note. And you can kind of feel everybody's eyes on you as you turn the stairway and go upstairs. Okay, so you go up, begin washing it off. There's no additional blood flow. You don't bleed anymore. I mean, you've not got Blush of Life active, so it's...
I did a Blush of Life active.
Yeah, but by this point it would have worn off. By the time you get upstairs, it probably would have come off because it only lasts for until the... Well, no, it lasts until the end of the night. So you would still have like a minor trickle, but with a bit of force of will, you stop it from just gushing. And you manage to clean yourself up. You still look a wreck, but at least you're not a bloody wreck. So, do you want to go anywhere else? Do you want to go anything? Or are you going to go back downstairs and grab Benjamin while you're upstairs?
I was gonna wait and just have a listen, see if I hear anything.
From?
Just sort of just hear from, just have a listen from a room because I know there's there's a certain incorporeal guest. That's also.
Oh, okay. Wits plus awareness.
I hate this.
No! Oh, that's too many red dice.
2 successes.
He's saving the critical fail to when you're with him.
Yeah.
Alone in the street.
2 successes.
You sit upon the edge of your Spartan bed and just listen. And you turn your head towards the area where Katia's room is, where you've heard most of the sources. And then you hear but you twist your head because it's not coming from Katia's, the direction of Katia's room. It's coming from the opposite side of your door. And you stop and you listen and you hear the doorknob lowers, but the door doesn't open. And then the doorknob rises again, and then you hear footsteps.
I'm gonna go to the door and look out.
There's no one there.
Oh, good evening. No idea what I should call you, but thank you for being around. And I head back downstairs.
Okay. Head back down into the lobby. You see the two individuals still speaking with Mrs. Morovsky. The other guy's not there anymore. You can feel like a slight breeze coming from your right, and as you glance over, the door's still slightly ajar. Mrs. Morovsky, noticing you're kind of glancing around, moves over, shuffles over, and starts closing the door. And then you head back downstairs, and you see Benjamin. Now Benjamin, he looks more presentable, less bloody.
Good.
Still with a broken nose. Or weirdly angled jaw. Not fully angled like Moses's was, but he looks better.
Okay. Well, that's an improvement. Right. Well, I suppose we're going to go off and do the business. So we'll see you later.
Have a good evening.
Bye.
So yeah, I guess we'll head.
Okay. So what is the plan with regards to your feeding, guys?
Well, first things first, Jim's going to drop the disc off.
Okay.
Hang on. So when we go out of the,
Yeah.
So actually, because we're about to leave, I'll say actually, when are we going to discuss Are we going to discuss it here? Or are we going to discuss it somewhere? We need to be somewhere private. That's the only thing, Jim. So
Well,
where are we going to discuss our
I'm going
approach?
to give this to my contact as soon as I can.
Don't you think it would be a good idea to feed first before you go? Or is your contact? Well, in any case, whether they're one of
time
us.
sensitive.
I mean, yes. I'm just thinking, given the situation,
Yeah.
isn't it more sensible always to have a focused mind on other things when. Just a suggestion. I just feel, as we're trying to be really careful at the moment.
And I'd rather like to get this piece off my plate.
And all right, what if I helped you feed quite quickly?
I'm feeling a weight afterwards. It won't take me long. I'm just down to three-legged cat.
Fine.
Okay.
I can't wait for the day you snap.
Yeah.
It'll be the most impressive frenzy.
And underwhelming.
Probably the most shortest frenzy as well.
I'll be like.
But for those moments, you will strike terror.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you begin making your way away. You begin making your way towards the three-legged cat. But before you do, I'd like a wits plus awareness roll from you.
Okay.
Do you have?
No.
No.
Okay.
3.
That's a crit.
No, critical win actually.
5.
So 5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. As you are making your way towards the three-legged cat, there's a number of people moving back and forth down this way, and you can see a few pictures littered now up and down in between alleyways just towards the openings of mounts,
Yeah.
and over on the onto telephone poles next to bus stops, showing the face of the young woman who you showed to your coterie. And as you're looking at one of these images, and you're stopping at the traffic lights to cross over the road, you glance back the way you'd come and you see that there's an individual that's waiting outside of the crossed hands that's just watching you quite pointedly.
Me personally, or
You collectively.
Yeah.
And as you kind of meet his gaze, he just tilts his head slightly and then moves back towards the crossed hands, opens the door, and just steps inside.
Do I recognise him?
No.
Was there anything odd about him? Like,
Just the way he was staring at you.
so, assumedly, I could see it was a man or a woman.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a guy.
So it was a guy, an adult. Did they look like
Quite dishevelled. It looked. I mean, you couldn't really tell. The guy had pulled a baseball cap over, so you couldn't quite make out most of his features, apart from the fact that he had some facial hair, that he was staring your direction. That his age was kind of like late 20s, early 30s.
I'll say, did you see that man, Jim?
I look back. What man?
Well, he's just gone into the crossed hands, but he was watching us. I'm sure of it. I didn't recognise him, but I'd probably know if I saw him again.
Oh God. Let's quietly head back.
What, to the crossed hands?
Yeah, if you're saying that, something feels off.
What? I thought you had this time sensitive.
I know, but
I know. It's fine. So I'll look as we're going towards the 3 cat. Is there somewhere where I can, like an alley?
Yeah,
anywhere I can step quietly.
There's quite a few.
I'll step into an alley and I'll take out the walkie-talkie. And I'll go, yes! I'll say, hello?
Yeah.
I'm keeping an eye out. I'll have my back to the entrance of the elevator. I'll say, it's me. Listen, there's someone who was just gone into the crossed hands and they were watching us. I didn't get a very good look at them, but they were male, and they had a baseball cap on. They looked a bit dishevelled. There was something, they were really watching us in detail. I would just be on alert, just in case, But I didn't recognise them.
Who is this again?
I told you, I have no idea. I'm just saying they were watching Jim and I very intently.
okay.
Identify yourself.
I get hand over the walkie-talkie, pull it close to my mouth, and just growl down it.
As he was speaking, I was already Katya and I probably were drawn into the station. I'm looking at the live footage right now of the cross hands, see who has gone in and out, or who is in the lobby.
Well, Benjamin's clearly just been eaten by a lupine, so...
Yeah, something like that.
Cindy and Andy have finished speaking with Mrs. Morovsky, and they've branched off. And the individual that she's now speaking with, she's standing up and just looking through a ledger. And there's an individual with, it looks like a camo coat.
Okay.
That reaches down to about his hips. He's got his hands driven into the pockets, and he's got a baseball cap pulled over. It makes it hard to see what his features are like based upon the angle of the camera. But he's speaking with her, and then after a few moments when she nods and then turns and starts focusing on the ledger, he stops and turns and looks down the corridor where you are, and then stops, looks back up the stairs, and then the moment she rights herself, he looks back at her and just resumes speaking.
So in any of those shots, do I get a look at his face?
You get a partial look. It's not enough that you could kind of identify him in a straight line. You can tell that he's got
It's
facial
no one
hair.
I recognize.
No,
It's
no one you know.
Anyone you know, Katya?
Don't think so.
No.
But...
He seems to be checking the ledger with Mrs. Morovsky. We'll keep you posted.
Does he look like he's
just
checking
go
it?
hunting?
No.
It's kind of. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. It's more like he seems to be asking after something, because she looks down at this and then asks, speaks back to him, and then he just shakes his head, and then she goes down to another one and just starts speaking.
How about
Roger.
you go upstairs? Normal chat with Mrs. Morovsky. Maybe ask her something to hold the door. I'll back you up.
I'm a little concerned. It already looks a little suspicious that there are 4 of us down here with the busted lock in the first place. I was going to suggest we leave through the sewers.
Well, actually, we live here. You could be getting out of your friend's room back into your room and see this guy, have a chat with Mrs. Morovsky, have a real good look, because he's looking for something. And as Benjamin said, this night is a bit off with the police coming already. So I don't want to end up having someone snooping around on top of that. I'll be right with you.
All right. And I don't think I used Blush of Life last time, so I
don't think
guess
so.
I will try
I think it's just me and
activate
Jim.
So, what's your current hunger ratings?
that. Just gone up to
4?
3.
3, 2. Finally! Right, let's keep it like that.
One here.
Yeah, if we keep it like that for now.
We can all go down.
Okay. So as you begin focusing, you can feel the warmth just spread through you, and her cheeks begin to brighten, and her breathing starts naturally just occurring.
Sorry.
Why are you giggling?
No, nothing.
Okay. So yeah, it kicks in. You've regained a semblance of life.
And I head up towards the front desk.
Okay. So you step upstairs. The foot treads are softer now that you're going up than when Jim thundered down them. Open up the door and step out. And as you come around the corner, you can see that the individual is just leaning forward on the desk. Not in an aggressive way, but it seems more like he's talking quite quietly with Mrs. Morovsky. And the way he's staring at her she's got his full attention. And every time that she points down into the ledger and takes her attention off of him, his eyes just dart around. And he looks around the corner just as you come round and observes you for a moment, and then rights himself as she looks back up.
Oh, good evening, Miss Morovsky. Everything all right? You doing all right this evening?
It's lovely, Katia, darling.
I apologise. I didn't have time to properly greet you earlier. I was on my way out. I saw a fantastic. I popped to the theatre earlier. They've got some very good. I would see Warhorse. Have you seen that one?
Warhorse?
Yes,
Can't
fantastic.
say I have. What's it about, darling?
Well, it's about a horse that was in the war. Would you believe it?
Aptly named, then.
Yes. It's nice and concise. I liked it. But yes, keeping all right. Haven't had any more visitors. Haven't had any visits from our familiar antagonist, have we?
Which one, darling? Sorry, Graham. I'll be right with you.
And he just stops. He leans back and he just observes you.
Well, the chap who sent you to the hospital before, I've been keeping my eye out. I've been ever so concerned he might come back.
Well, if he does...
And she pulls out her knife.
I've got this!
You do have that.
I'm more than capable of defending myself, you know.
I believe you, certainly.
Sorry, Graham.
And she puts it away.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drag her away from you. Ever so sorry.
It's fine.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
There's been a lot going around recently. It's been quite stressful, to be honest.
You're a resident?
Yes, I stay here.
Long term?
Reasonably long term, yes. Well, for the moment, I can't really afford to move out right now, and, well, the area doesn't feel as safe as it used to, but, I mean, you know, you put down roots, and it can be difficult to move away sometimes.
So, nosy question on my behalf. I'm looking for someone. I'm just wondering whether or not you would have seen her.
Who might that be?
Goes by the name of Ali.
I don't think I know an alley. No, we haven't had an
Woman,
awful lot
early
of...
20s. Oh,
No, I can ask. I can
you'd
ask.
remember
some...
if you saw her.
Okay. Well, I'll repeat the name to the others who stay here, just in case someone's seen her.
Goes by Alicia.
Alicia.
Rather than
okay. Ali. I'll say both, just in case one that rings a bell.
Cool.
Okay. Well.
Lovely talking to you, Julia.
And
I didn't get your name.
oh, Katia.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Graham. And Katia she's going to pop back up to her room, I think.
Okay. You glance back over your shoulder as you go up, and he's watching you go. And then...
Smile.
Okay, so you head up towards your room. Is there anything in particular you're getting?
I'm just going to chill there just for a few minutes. I'm going to basically say, Graham, looking for Alicia.
Is that a text to me?
Yeah, to you.
Okay, brilliant.
Not to this guy.
For a second then, Moses
No.
hearts start beating, then stopped, and then start beating again.
And what she says, she's quickly going to take a fresh spider upon it.
Yeah,
to put in her bag.
I will text her back. Like, wait for my signal, because I have been watching all this conversation, not listening to, of course, just watching for anything. And I see Katia go upstairs. When I see him leave, like the domain or in which direction, because if he goes on the way to the three-legged cat, I will alert them. The moment he's outside of the crossed hands at a a bit of a distance away, I text her to come downstairs.
He hasn't left yet. After he's finished speaking with Mrs. Morowski, he makes his way over towards the door, almost as though he's going to go through it. And the way he places his hand on it, it's clear that's his intention. And then he stops. And then he glances over towards the picture of Mrs. Morowski and her husband, and then moves over and just starts speaking to her. You can't make out what's being said. But then the conversation seems
put
to
audio there.
take him back in as he's just there discussing it with her. But every now and again...
Would I have perchance noticed anything vaguely strange about, like, for example, if he was a supernatural that didn't have Blush of Life up, would I have seen anything like that?
Do intelligence plus... hang on.
Awareness, insight?
Occult!
How many dots do you have in occult?
3.
How many do you have in awareness?
Awareness 2.
Okay. How many do you have in investigation?
1.
Roll occult.
Okay.
Oh.
What are you talking about? Yay! Thank you!
No, that was like lovely.
Yay!
I was saying, isn't it?
Oh, okay. I thought you were disappointed. I was like, no.
That's 1, 2, 3 successes.
3. It's not really. I mean, the way that he was moving, it seems very much like... it doesn't seem like it's artificial. In the way that you recognise the only another kindred would recognise another kindred using Blush of Life because the signs are there. The very, very slight hesitation between each intake of breath, almost like your brain is reminding yourself to take that breath. The very slight silvery sheen of complexion in the light, things like that you normally note weren't there. He seemed normal. If anything, he just seemed interested in what was going on, seemed very alert, was watching you intently when he was speaking to you. You can't tell whether or not that's just a kind of one of those unsettling mannerisms. He came across as being confident without being overly bearing, just in the way that he was just happy to have this discussion with you, and he seemed in no pressure for time. And the way that he was about to leave, and then all of a sudden he's just still there. And Mrs. Morowski doesn't seem the least bit phased to have his company.
Gravelly voice, quite a lot of facial hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel might have an idea.
Well, not gravelly voice.
But Katya does.
He's not gravelly voice, but he's got like a beard.
Yeah. The last thing Katya will do while she's waiting is she'll take one of the dead spiders and she's going to just put it out in the middle of the room on a little tissue and just leave it there.
Okay. Okay. So your spider stays out.
Yeah. And
Left
then
where you left it.
Left where I left it. And then I'm just waiting for Moses' signal.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll
What's your
probably
signal?
kill time reading my book on True Faith.
Okay.
I'm gonna be checking there, and I'll just every once in a while. It's like he's still here.
He doesn't linger for too long. We're not talking like a kind of fuck's sake, just leave already kind of thing. He's there for another 5 minutes or so. Mrs. Morowski seems quite disappointed when he leaves, and he takes his way towards the door.
Okay.
And he steps outside, and then watching on the cameras opposite, he goes over towards the bus stop, sits and waits. And then the bus comes, stops, and then goes, and he's still there.
Come downstairs.
Katya does that.
Okay. Mrs. Morowski's back with her paper. In fact, she has the paper there as she normally does, but her attention is a bit more now on the picture up on the wall. To the degree where she doesn't really seem to notice you come down and go past towards
I'll read it
Moses'
that way
door.
this time. Alright. We really need to get some sound recording installed in that room.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
He's there, sitting.
Still there. Maybe he's waiting for a pickup.
Nope. The bus came and went.
I mean, as in
Somebody.
a drive-by.
Okay, there's a couple of things I have to tell you.
Okay.
Well, not taking my eyes off the cameras. Number one. I have seen and spoken to Alicia.
Right.
Number 2, I have a way of contacting her.
Okay.
Number 3, she said that if I were to, or any of us were to help Jim find her, it'll be final death for us. So that's why I've kept it to myself and not a peep to Benjamin, because he's awful at keeping that kind of things bottled up. It'll be too much pressure for him.
I mean, from what I've heard with the whole Tyler incident, even mentioning that name to Jim seems to elicit final death, so one way or another I think it's probably a good idea to keep it under wraps if he can't handle the information.
Yeah, but either way, just so you knew... Is he still there? Okay. Just so you know, Jim's sister, the other figure that was with her was Alicia.
Right.
And I show her like the external, well, the internal hard drive now outside of a computer is like a hard drive, like, and this is all the footage, and it's going to my vault.
Right. I feel like Alicia is aware someone who has complete control over the videos, over the camera system would notice that shot, but I feel like this isn't something she would expect Jim to see.
No.
Is this a way of her showing to you how the power she has over our coterie, do you think?
I think she was toying with me and Jim.
But surely this only encourages Jim on his road to finding her, or is it meant to distract Jim away from searching for her?
Still there. No. Rewind.
You see a car pull up, stop, and he gets up, leans against the window, speaks into it, nods, opens the car, sits into it, and then it just drives slowly off down the road.
Told you.
Road. License plate.
Okay. So you manage to pick up the license plate as it goes off. There's nothing...
Write it down.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to write
It goes up and around the corner and then tails down and then stops in... or perhaps not to you, but a close-by parking. Yeah. It's within the domain.
Within the domain.
Yeah.
So he's parking in the street.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good 5 to 10 minutes away.
I
At a
just
slow pace.
zoom in with the camera. Not too much, just to have the car in the center of the picture. And then I put it in the main display so we can both talk. Well, if there's any movement, we will be alerted.
I feel like this fellow might know us each by face, or at least by some manner. If he was staring pointedly at them before he even entered the building, and he was checking very carefully through that ledger.
Well, Alicia wouldn't have left her name. The one who was asking actively for Jim was Sarah.
But he could easily have been asking for Jim if he knows who I am. He's not going to say he's looking for Jim. He would probably say he's looking for Alicia.
Sarah wouldn't know who you are.
No, I'm talking about Graham.
Oh, Graham.
Graham probably wouldn't tell me he was looking for Jim if he was.
No, but also he probably wouldn't be asking for Alicia if he knew Jim was here.
Perhaps, but perhaps he doesn't feel like I might care or know about Alicia.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting for you. All of this Alicia business, I've known since court.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also something that has happened since a couple of... Okay, I did not give my blood to the Smiling Man.
Unfortunately, that's exactly what someone who did give their blood to a mage would say.
Believe what you will. I was asked for compensation for the breaches to his domain, mainly the incident with the fire alarms, and then them getting rid of the breach of the Masquerade Jim had when the poacher showed up.
Understandable.
So you would also understand why, after I had cleaned a couple of other messes ups of Jim, like having to set fire to the other guy, Steve something, house, and then had to swap the skulls, and so it's not the first time I had to do that. And
in your position, I would have done exactly the same. There's no way in hell I would give my blood to a mage.
And I had to tell Jim that I did, because I know he wouldn't have done it on his own. So you can believe me or not.
Well, you must respect that I will, of course, be taking it with a pinch of salt.
Yes. But I would appreciate if you don't tell Jim.
My lips are sealed.
Because I have no idea what he was doing here and broke into my room and broke the lock and did all he did. I came in and tried to defend myself.
Well, I can...
So I am as wary of him as you are.
Well, I can assure you...
That's why I assaulted him with my helmet.
Despite what I say about pinch of salt, I can assure you that I am 100% in support of transparency, as long as it keeps us all safe.
Well, everything I've said does the opposite of that.
Exactly.
Knowing-
So I understand why you might withhold this information. It's difficult.
I keep on looking at the car, any movement,
Nope.
still people inside, them inside. So I go like, okay, now that I've gotten all of that out of my chest, there's also a couple of other things I've done.
Okay.
But they're not that bad. I mean,
they're probably not as bad as what you did yesterday. So, it hit me with them.
Alice knows.
I still haven't met Alice yet. I really feel like you ought to have an introduction between us.
Well, she knows about what happened yesterday and about the sabbat.
Right.
I mean,
You know, of course, that I also told Sabine about that.
yeah, but we were assuming at least our primogenies or sires or something. I mean, it's a given that
Yes.
Mr. Sinclair knows.
I'm sure he knows
Mr.
everything.
Sinclair is most wonderful man, but Benjamin would have told Edmund.
Oh, the day is coming where I'm going to really struggle to test, not to say I told you so to Benjamin.
Well, that's why I usually withhold information from him, because I know he gets really stressed, and I feel sorry for him when he gets like really, really, really.
Unfortunately, I seem to find that when he's at his most stressed, he does see things. I've read a lot about the Malkavian clan, and I do believe in what he tells us.
You do believe he saw that thing turn my head out?
Yes, part of me does. The fear in his eyes certainly seemed genuine, and I mean, to generate a creature like that out of nowhere onto paper and be so adamant.
Well, he is an artist. He has a very good imagination. But I guess after this,
Even artists need reference material.
after this, I think I believe him a little bit too. That's why I've been thinking about this. Like, I have no idea what happened here. But
Do you not
Wow.
know what happened?
it's a stigmata. Like a cross burned into my hand.
Well, yes, I mean,
Stigmas.
it's...
Holy
Yes,
representation of our faith. I don't deserve to be stigmatized.
Well, it's also a very, very considerable display of power by
Yes.
our... But it's a very, very, very unusual trait.
You know about this?
A little bit. If I tell you a little bit, will you keep this between us?
Yeah,
I think you
of
should
course.
probably be aware in case you are faced with Jacqueline again.
Well, I've been nothing but straightforward to you. I think you are the only member of the coterie I trust 100%.
Well, 100% seems a bit
99.
much. Yes.
99.
Come
You're
on.
still Tremere.
Thank you. Okay, so Jacqueline appears to be in possession of an almost unheard of ability, and I didn't believe it when I saw it. It's referred to in certain texts as true faith, where a person's devotion, a true, honest, pure devotion to their faith, can manifest in power like this, the ability to do what she did, and it is unheard of in the modern age. Even a lot of my clan believe it to be, I mean, and mine being the kind of, oh for goodness, what, blood mages, is that what they like to call the
Sorcerers.
that's
Slightly
that's
cooler.
actually a cooler nickname. I prefer that.
Yeah, but Warlock or Usurpers are
Warlocks
more...
is even better, to be honest. It's a cool class. Where was I?
It's true.
Yes, well, I can't deny it.
No. I felt her devotion in her prayers before she stigmatized me. Why do you think I prayed a whole rosary next to her? Last time I did that was in my own funeral because my mom was there.
All I can say is I'm very pleased you led that meeting. And you did a phenomenal job. We got the information to her, she took it seriously, and there it is, really. There it is.
Well,
regarding...
I think that's everything I needed to tell you.
Good.
If I remember something I have not been telling other people, it's because I haven't had the chance to do this. Also, how's the gun doing? You need more ammo?
Honestly, I haven't even used it yet. I have never even held a gun in my life.
So, bullets have to be fired eventually. You cannot keep them in a box forever. So we need to fire those and get you new ones.
Do they really need to be fired? Will they leap out of the box and shoot into someone's body of their own accord if I don't shoot them myself?
No, but that's the safest way to dispose of them, in a gallery, like a shooting range. Or in the middle of nowhere.
Alright, well, perhaps we will do that to unwind at some point.
Not today.
No.
We will make a plan out of it, and then we will do some target practice.
Oh my god, can you imagine having free time? My mind boggles.
Yeah. Speaking of which...
Yes. Let's work out what we're going to do about these cameras. And I have I have something I wanted to talk to you about, but we can do that as we're dealing with this.
Okay, because I need to talk to you about how we're going to dispose of Catherine's corpse.
Yeah. It's going to have to be done a little way from here, and it's going to have to look like...
I think Katya and Moses are going to spend the rest of the time looking at the map, looking at the video, looking at the map, looking at the video, to see if they have moved.
Okay.
And every so often, checking... Everything alright? But it's going to be like half an hour before I do the first one of those.
Okay.
I was going to say, quickly
brainstorming.
before we finish that, as we're kind of going through this process. So I suppose you, sir, have a minor favour, almost more of an interest to ask you. I want to try... so you could say I've had some small twinge of guilt, and I would like to try and get in contact with Will again, just to return some of her possessions. Of course, her phone was taken and destroyed.
I remember.
Yeah. What's the best way to get in contact with someone without making it look like you're actually trying to search for them, obviously?
Well, no offense, I know he's your sire, but he's a dick, and he probably put in a barricade of communication around her. So if you have no way of getting in touch with her...
I mean, the obvious way is simply to wander around the Chantry until I bump into her, but...
Into the what?
It's the thing, the place.
That's a cool name. Do you call everything like that?
We have wizard names for everything.
Like Harry Potter stuff?
Yeah, you should see the hats
June.
we wear.
It's June. I know what Harry Potter is.
Yeah, sometimes we practice blood magic with wands and everything.
Now you're taking the piss, but you can have a practice one to show Benjamin some stuff.
Of course.
Okay. Now, let me guess. You want me to do some Nosferatu stuff?
If you can find a way for me to contact her, that would be wonderful.
Well, is that gonna make your sire angry? If he were to know that it happened, would he be pissed?
He's got no right to be pissed. He doesn't own her.
You know her. You know him.
He'll be pissed at me, but not at you.
I don't care if he's gonna be pissed at me. I just want...
Okay, if he
Just
knew
take it
I
up to
had
him.
been get in contact with her, he would either be pissed, or he would view it as some smug victory that I'd finally come crawling back to this juicy bait that he'd left out. But that's not the reason I'm doing it. So
I'm gonna make it...
he'll either be pissed or ignorant.
Okay. Nah.
Or he'd think he'd won when he actually hasn't. So there's also that.
I just want to mess with him.
I mean, if I see him and he looks pissed off, I'll tell you all the details.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Meanwhile, as you two have been huddled in this alleyway with this walkie-talkie,
Yeah.
and you've had this information passed along, What have you been doing since?
So I assume you're making your way to the.
Yeah, to the cat.
Can I continue?
I'll meet you when you're done. How long do you need?
Yeah, it shouldn't be long. You should be right away outside.
Yes, I'll see you when you're back.
Okay. So you make your way back into the three-legged cat, and the detective sergeant is not where you left him. He is now at the bar, and he's speaking to someone at the bar. And based upon, there's not many glasses there that are empty in front of him. He does have one that he's currently nursing. It's about half full, but the table that he's left has 4, 5 empty glasses. You hope they're not his. They might be. There's no one else sat there. But he's there and he's just speaking to the guy. And then as you begin making your approach, he stops, turns, looks at you. Well?
How many more do you want?
What, this?
Yeah.
You giving me a number, are you? I can come up with one.
What I'll do is I'll open what I got, pull all the cash I've got out, put that up. That's all I got.
Is that enough?
He's asking the bar.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
However much that buys. Yeah. Have you got it?
Yep.
Takes the disc. So, I will do this as quickly as I can.
Thank you.
And be close to your fucking phone.
Always am.
Do not forget
I
that
won't.
I'm doing this. And I want no more fucking calls from you until I call you next.
Yep.
Anything else?
Enjoy your evening.
I fucking will. Goes back to drinking.
Walk out.
Okay. You step back outside. Benjamin, you see him walking out. Very much as he was before. You can hear the noises of people laughing, chatting, drinking inside. It seems pretty well packed in there at this point.
I'll wait for Jim.
Jim's back out.
Are there lots of people around us kind of going to it? As in, is it dangerous to talk where we are?
Yeah, there's people in and out in the doorway having,
Okay.
As we walk away and go, well, that's me, Brooke.
That's awkward, given that, you need to find some money.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
There's that business we need to do first before I think we do anything else.
Yes, no, quite right. Do you have a method in mind, or how much help do you need? What kind of help do you need? What do you want?
Well, why don't you show me what you've been doing? You've been working on your skills, hunting.
I think there are. Fine. All right, I think I can probably do something to help you. The thing is, you see, is that, and I'll be kind of just checking there's no one too close to us. I'll say, the thing is, the way I like to do these things is sort of, I think, is different to the way you like to do things. I like to do things very, how can I put this, delicately, and quietly, and away from all of, and I'll gesture in the kind of general street direction. But I can probably help you. I suppose I might need some help myself afterwards.
Sure. Cool. Be curious to see what you'll do.
All right, fine. Let's see. So we'll have a look for a. Actually, I'll say to Jim, do you have a preferred alleyway or quiet spot?
Ultimately, I take what I can get.
No, I mean, is there an alley around here that you think is relatively not used?
Close to a pub. There's, people wander in and out.
Not really.
Well, I mean, within the domain, is there anywhere that's? I mean.
Not particularly.
Right, wonderful. Well, I'll have a look around as we're walking for anywhere where Jim could basically put himself and potentially feed, which is out of the way. Whether that is a kind of construction site, whether it is an alley that, or it doesn't have to be a long alley necessarily. I just want it somewhere where he can feed without him obviously just being observed by everybody as they're walking by.
Okay. We will say, are you willing to take the time necessary to get this done, or are you trying to do it quickly?
I'm not rushing it.
Okay, well, we'll say resolve plus... plus streetwise.
And will you get a dice?
And
do I
you
get a dice from Jim?
Because Jim will be helping.
Yeah, okay, cool. 3 successes.
3. It's difficult for you to find a place where you could put him. There's a lot of people up and about. There's, the posters are drawing a bit of attention. People are moving back and forth. The place where you've managed to find, there are numerous people walking back and forth. You probably wouldn't trust him to try and take one out quietly.
No, that's fine. But so the issue is if he makes a lot of noise or something happens, then it will be noticed. But
so
if
I'll say you can succeed at a cost. He will have to make a check. If he fails, it's going to be a botched hunt. There is this basically negates your roll. He'll have to make a new one. So your roll has basically found him a place, but it's not successfully.
So I'm going to do that's fine. I'm going to do something that might help him.
Okay.
But that's fine. So I'll say to Jim. So assuming if we're going to like whatever it is, like an alley or an alcove or whatever, I'm going to also look. Is there anything kind of visual here, like a bin or some particular graffiti or anything, which if someone was to come into this place, is easy to see?
I mean, there's markings and graffiti on the wall. It's not exactly prominent, but it is there. It would catch the eye.
Oh, fine. That's fine. So I'll say to Jim, when we're there, I'll say now, lower my voice, make sure there's no one too close. I'll say, I'm going to try and get someone to come in here so you can feed. It's very important. We haven't got a lot of protection here, so you have to do it carefully. All I'm asking is that you don't kill them or do anything, just a subtle, quiet feed. That's all I'm asking. And I'll make it as easy for you as I can. Just wait. When someone comes in, don't jump straight away. You'll know when they come in. So I'm going to put Jim, by the way. So if the graffiti's on one wall, I'm going to put him where he's hiding at the opposite side.
Okay.
I'll say when they come in, and the moment will come. You'll see the opportunity. Then feed. Okay. All right.
All right.
All right. And I'll do everything I can to keep this covered. I just want you to control, the hunger, because I can see you're hungry. All right, we'll see how this goes. The vaccine. So I'll go out, and I'm going to wait for basically anyone. My key factors, and I'm not super picky, is that they are not too unhealthy looking. I don't want someone who's weak. Like I don't want some pensioner that he's going to murder just by the sight, And apart from that, someone who's on their own.
Okay.
And I'm just when the next person comes by, otherwise I don't, and obviously like not a police officer in uniform, but otherwise I don't really care who they are.
I mean, there are people waiting. You are close enough to a bus stop that there are individuals close by. There looks to be a woman in her middle ages with like a shopping bag that's half filled with bits and pieces, and she looks not necessarily irritable, but she's kind of clearly been waiting there for a while.
Is she on her own?
Yes.
Good, I'll approach her. I'll say, I'm so sorry, I was wondering, do you know when the next bus is coming?
Well, it's supposed to be here 10 minutes ago.
Oh, isn't that annoying when that happens? And I was wondering, I'm going to mesmerise her.
Okay.
If you could go into the alley over there and have a good look at the graffiti on the wall and count to 60. Thank you.
Okay, is there a roll involved?
No, she's mortal not resisting, so no.
Okay, do you need to do a rouse check?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes!
Look at you.
We're so lucky.
So
So lucky.
This time-
And it was really good. It was really good.
I need a dex plus. I'm assuming you're just going to jump her.
Pretty much as soon as I see
Okay.
her. Kind of,
So you, as you're
No.
waiting
Yeah,
back,
fine.
and you can just hear the sounds of the city around you. You hear the soft kind of tread, and then the swaying of a bag hitting leg, and then this woman just moves over and just starts staring at this graffiti. I need a dexterity plus brawl check from you.
including the grappling.
Yes.
There's so many bloody red
It's
dice.
a lot of red dice. Just don't.
Let's have a heart for red dice. We'll see.
Pretty.
That's good.
Five
That's 5 successes.
That's
Okay.
5 successes.
Okay.
No bad.
No ones.
Which, with the increased police presence, is what you needed.
Oh my goodness.
Police presence, yo. It sucks. So,
Just go perch it.
as you've managed, do it. I endorse this. So, as you move up behind her and you bite down onto her, she suddenly starts going limp. Her eyes go wide, and she starts trying to turn to look at you, and then just falls in. You are keeping an eye out, back and forth, just kind of.
Yeah.
Come on.
I hate to say this.
Yep.
You probably know this already, actually. So no, I'll shut up. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. How much are you planning to take?
2.
I need a willpower roll from you, please.
Add your humanity.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
a third of
2
your
dice
humanity.
for
Yeah.
humanity 6, 3 for 9.
Come on.
And I have full willpower. Yay. Oh shit.
3 or above.
That would be a tasty 1 success.
1.
And you cannot reroll any of that shit.
No, you can't. It's a check.
Oh my god, no more.
Is Benjamin aware?
I'm sorry in advance for all of the shit you're gonna get.
Is Benjamin?
Okay. I will allow you one last Hail Mary.
Okay.
Okay. Intelligence plus medicine.
Channel your inner
Sure.
Moses. Fix
I don't have
this.
medicine, so it's just
Mesmerize him! Mesmerize him!
Because he is doing this quite quickly, so this is.
1 success.
Are you able to re-roll any of that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can reroll 1 dice. I'll do that, shall I? 2
2
successes.
successes.
Okay.
My god.
As you are kind of glancing around, you notice that the woman's going lower and lower, but Jim's not releasing her. He's going down lower with her,
Okay.
and the way her arm is twitching is getting less vigorous and
Okay.
more lethargic. She's struggling to hold it up, and it's quite clear-cut sign that he is just going for it. And his eyes are just fluttering back and forth. The whites of his eyes just showing beneath the eyelids as he is just draining and draining. He is going to drain her dry.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do. So my options, as far as I know, is I can try and physically pull him off, which seems
Which
like
is dangerous.
and dumb because that won't work because he's Jim. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hands either side of his head, open because you said his eyes were fluttering.
Yep.
Push his eyes open, and I will say, I will say, forget about her, Jim.
Okay.
I'm going to try and cloud memories just to try and snap him out of her. He does get a resist roll because he's a vampire.
Yes, he does.
A
wa-
vampire?
a
Is that a
vampire?
vampire from the 80s?
Yeah,
What is the resist roll?
it's a cool vampire. It's a vampire that eats at
Okay,
winters.
so the resist roll.
And am I dropped any hunger dice at this point?
Yeah.
Before you
How hard are you resisting, I guess?
So, we've been through this. I know which the page is. What do you want? Cloud memory?
Yes.
Yes.
He rolls charisma plus dominate versus wits plus resolve.
Yeah. You would have taken at this point 3 points. By the time he would have
Wow,
gained.
looks like you owe another favour to Mr.
So,
Hospital
which plus
Custodian.
resolve, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh?
Well,
Yeah, so you are 3 hunger down, so you're on 1 hunger.
Right, so which plus resolve for the pool? Alright.
How hard are you resisting? Hopefully not very hard. So I'm charisma plus
Dominate.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Please roll good.
No reroll.
I'm gonna willpower a dice.
Okay.
Please, please.
Okay,
4 successes.
4
please.
versus 3.
Okay.
Venga.
Jim, your eyes flutter open and everything is just a blur. And then slowly you start hearing forget. And then your grip just loosens and the woman slumps to before you, and you suddenly become aware that you are kneeling, that your knees are damp, and that someone is clasping either side of your face, that there is something delicious all over you, and you feel better than you have in as long as you can remember. And he is just there staring into your eyes, and you can hear a kind of in front of you.
I think clean this up quickly.
Would that count as a friend? That counts as a frenzy, right?
Not a full-blown frenzy.
Alright. So,
You would have drained her dry, and that would have been it.
yeah, I get that. Leave the wound closed.
Fuck.
Come on, we have to go, and then we have to call an ambulance.
Thank you.
Hang on. I'm going to whisper into her ear, forget as well.
Okay. Did you lick the wound shut?
Yeah, he did.
I'm going to have to roll a check for this because it's the second time I've used dominate in this on her in this scene.
Okay. 2 seconds. Okay.
I'm going to spend a willpower. Jesus.
Dude,
Burning
your willpower
through it.
is just eating away.
Boom started hunting the poacher. Yes.
3.
3. Okay. And this was to...
The
Cloud
woman.
memory.
Forget
Cloud
it.
memory, yeah. It's
Okay.
just
So her eyes kind of flutter as she tries to focus, and the breathing doesn't become any more stable. She's still rasping. And she's gone pale.
I'm
And
out of there.
She just...
Yeah,
her eyes
follow
go,
them.
and she just slumps unconscious.
Um,
Whether or not she survives the amount of blood she's lost, you don't stick around to see.
I'll say to Jim, you need to call an ambulance. I'll see you back at the crossed hands.
Okay.
I'm leaving. I'm splitting because I don't want us seen together. As in, because
Judgment
we look kind of incongruous together. So I'm going to go back a different way from him.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll call on the way.
What emergency service?
There's a woman down, woman that's collapsed in the alley. Say where the alley is.
Okay. And then... Do you stay on... Okay, so you hang up. Where are you two heading now?
I'm going to be heading back to the crossed hands.
I think
Okay.
I can do the same, different route.
Okay. As you two begin making your way back, is there anything you want to do before you leave your alleyway?
I don't want to clean up, but make sure I
Okay.
can basically.
So you give yourself a quick brush down. Thankfully, probably at the recommendation I think that came from a coterie mate early on, you've got darker clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got darker clothes, so it doesn't really show. I mean, at close inspection, someone's going to note that you've got something on you, but it's gone from your face as you begin making your way off. You notice that there is movement from the car. Both car doors have opened, and what looks to be a young woman has stepped out, and she seems to be having some sort of discussion with the individual that stepped out. He takes his hat off, chucks it into the car, pulls the hood up from his jacket, puts his hands in his pockets, and just starts leading her over towards an alleyway. And then she follows, and then they vanish from sight.
Is the alleyway inside the cross hands?
No. This is over in the parking, and as you're watching, you recognise this parking area.
Oh, okay.
Do I
Yeah.
recognize it?
Yeah, it's the one you got crowbar.
And the alleyway that they've ducked into is the same one that Maisie dropped into when she fled.
Does the
So
young woman
it's
look
off
like Maisie?
of Denmark Road this way.
I see.
Did I have a look at the woman?
She looks like she's in her late teens.
Late teens.
Yeah,
But it's definitely not Maisie.
it's not Maisie.
But I will be having, like, I try to increase it. Well, that time I should have had increased resolution, so, because I want to show that. Oh no, I want to compare that to the poacher. Teens.
Okay. You... I'll say intelligence
What
plus
was
investigation.
Okay.
Because, you know, neither image is amazing.
Yeah. That is 3 successes.
3 successes. It's not the same girl.
Not the same girl. Okay, do you want me to go and check it out? Either way, I have to go out at some point.
Yes, do you want me to come with you?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. I Mask of the Thousand Faces instead of Unseen Presence. Well, no.
Okay.
I Unseen Presence instead of Mask of the Thousand Faces. Without done hungry! Yeah! I just vanish, but in front of her.
Okay.
so she can see me.
I could probably see with a roll anyway because I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
Scene.
Yeah.
See the scene? Well, it'll be like a contested roll,
Yeah.
but I'm just making it like
Yeah.
default.
So
you can see
Yeah.
me.
So he begins becoming very slightly shimmery, very slightly. You know, the kind of thing you really have to focus on to know. And then you start making your way back upstairs. Or
Yeah.
you're going through the tunnels. Which way did you want to go?
Let's go through the tunnels. I bring another walkie-talkie just in case.
Okay.
And
If it's
we go through the tunnels.
appropriate any time, I might feed as well if we get that chance.
Yeah. We can hunt together. I can help you out. I'm not that hungry.
Right.
And when we're in the tunnels, I make an effort of avoiding where we have Catherine's body there and we start walking, and just to get my mind off of things. It's like, this is why I'm always telling everybody that I need a dirt bike for this. Now we have to run all the way there. Come on.
Where are you emerging? Close to the park or elsewhere?
Yes, actually, as close to the parking lot as possible.
The parking lot or the park?
The park.
Park, okay.
A lot more places to hide. Better for me to go out as a lookout.
Okay.
Hold on. The park is where the girl disappeared.
It's not the same park. It's where Catherine died or where she got
Where
clubbed.
Catherine died. Parking lot is off to the west.
Oh, okay. So they
The park is where you gained access and took Catherine to park.
Okay, then we're going back the same route. The same route we took Catherine out.
Okay, so
Because
you're going
that's the
up into
closest.
the park.
Yeah, because it's the closest entrance in the park. Yeah.
Okay, so who's going up first?
Me.
Okay.
I'll tell her to help me out with moving that stuff so my office gate doesn't break, and then I slip through the crack.
Okay, so you go up to top, and there are numerous people moving back and forth across the park. Do a wits plus awareness roll for me.
Wits plus awareness.
Yes. As Katia is beginning to make her ascent.
That is 2 successes.
2 successes.
I'm actually just up there trying to actively look for the angle in which she would go out, just to help her out in her role.
Yeah, as she
Just provide
is
assistance.
ascending, you can hear her handholds going onto the ladder ascending. You can see over on the corner the police officer and the young
The
man
kid.
who are standing there speaking, and the young man is just pointing different locations, speaking to the other guy, and he's just there, just looking around, observing, and he seems to be moving off towards where the park entrance is.
So away from us.
Not fully. So as you come up, I'll say.
No, I'll go like. Hold on. Stay.
You staying?
Yeah, I'll stay put.
Okay. Yeah,
Actually, she can see me, so I'm just literally standing in front of wherever, and I just, with my hand.
Yep. So as you come up, you can see Moses kind of lower his hand, and then you stop, and they go off into the park. They're not fully in there. They're kind of at the entrance, just having a look, and they're still having a low discussion. They can't quite hear. As Katia comes up, and you return.
Oh yeah,
cover?
I actually I crouch so I can whisper to her, because I assume we'll have no one immediately to the exit
Not
of the tunnels.
immediate. Yeah, there are people moving back and forth, but they're
Yeah,
not
so
immediate.
I whispered to her. The police officer and his kid are here.
Oh yes. I said this would probably happen.
Okay, good. Well, it's a good thing they only saw Benjamin, so you're clear to go. And when it's clear, come.
Katia, as you ascend, you glance over towards where he gestures, just to ensure that they're not looking around. And as the young man kind of not looks towards your direction, but turns, you recognise it's the same young man that was with Catherine when she, the one that you had escorted to.
But I forgetted him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's wandering around with him. So, where do you want to head? What do you want to do?
I felt like Moses was going.
I'm casing the area looking for Graham and the late teens girl.
Okay. So you're heading over towards the parking.
Towards where
Okay.
they were heading, because I want to see what's up with them.
Okay. So, are you going in there quietly, or are you just going to make your way there?
I am going there quietly. I'm already obfuscated.
Well, I know what you're doing, but
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably be fairly try and be.
So you
I'll help her out if need be.
Okay. So I'll need a Dex plus stealth roll from you.
And no, me providing dice for help. Because I will be telling her when to go, when not to go. Hold on.
Sure. +1.
That's 1 success.
Okay.
That was my die. You know it was my die.
Okay.
It was.
Nope.
Right. Well, before we go back into this and I start something off that I'll struggle to do for the break. Willpower! We're going to pause there and go into the
Am I
break,
going to
guys.
get clocked in the same bloody car park?
No.
This car park is fouled up for
This is
me.
a different car park. This is the car park of the east. You were clubbed in the car park of the west.
Well, now we're on a scenic tour of
Maybe.
the great car parks of...
No. This is the same car park.
Yeah, it's the same fucking car park.
This is
This
your
is the same one because the alleyway they've ducked into is the same one. Lazy
Oh,
Man.
okay. We had to go through the park to get to that alleyway.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
because that's the closest exit that you could have,
No,
and you didn't want to be
this is one
seen
of your jokes.
leaving
It
the
isn't funny. Oh,
crossroad.
shit.
So, we're going to take a break there, guys, and we will pop back. Oh, I will pop back in a few moments, and I will leave you in the capable hands of my awesome players. So, see you in a moment.
What, should we
No,
do
Board of the Dead
the
or-
relationship map first?
Relationship.
So with the relationship map, there's only a few minor adjustments to make. So, first thing to mention is Richard Whitman has appeared on the board, who is the police officer who's doing the investigation, and that's why we've put him nearer to Moses for the moment.
Catherine's dad.
And then over here, you'll notice at the top that the A. Jenkins has become Abigail Jenkins, because we've now learnt what her name is.
We're going to have to add Graham as well.
We will have to add Graham next time.
And mystery teenager.
And mysterious teenager. And also, over at this end of the board is Amelia, who is Edmund's, I would say, lucky assistant, but I think that's probably not appropriate given her appearance as it changes through the story.
I wonder what that said. I thought it said the smiling mum then.
No,
It's really
the
upside
smiling
down.
mum is a different stream, I think. All right, cool. So I think that is it, actually, for the relationship map.
Okay.
So, last week we didn't have close-up pictures of our new and exciting Board of the Dead, so we're going to do a very quick recap, which is just to say it's now divided into 3 sections, as you may remember from last week. There is the cool section. These are characters who are not dead, but they are not currently in play, but we quite like them. So in this case, it's Martin Elton, the student in recovery after his crowbar bashing, and Thimble, the thumb-wearing...
It was a lead pipe, actually.
Sorry, lead pipe, sorry. Yeah, for Cluedo fans, we've got to get this kind of thing right. So yeah, Thimble, the thumb-wearing, slightly weird, hair-eating Nosferatu. And then in the not cool section, we have Darren and Maisie Fitcher, back from the good old days. We have Martell, who had her eye on some not poachers, but who could be poachers. And our 3 poor thin bloods and friends who are currently with the Tremere, probably just having tea and biscuits or something and not being
it's
horribly
like a summer
tortured
camp, it's
at
fine.
all.
You will notice people in the cool and the not cool section, as far as we know, they're not dead. But those 3 would definitely wish they were.
Yeah, they would much rather be over here, but they're not there yet.
Hey, don't insult our hospitality.
And then there's the Board of the Dead itself, which I don't think has any additions.
Not yet.
Not yet. I was worried we were going to have to update it
Yeah.
tonight, but I think maybe we're okay. It's touch and go.
I mean, we might be moving Katya there by the sound of it.
Okay. But I think that is that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pop that away.
Alright.
Now, as I understand it, we have questions that we didn't answer last week. Is that right?
We also, before we do that,
Ooh.
there's a few shout outs.
Oh!
Thank yous.
Shout outs and thank yous.
It's been kicking off in chat. I might have agreed to carve a wooden steak. I'll fill you guys in later. It's fine.
What?
We have.
Don't peer pressure our Mitch, please.
He's gonna come stick for us now.
They're giving me money to do stuff.
Oh wow. Okay.
Fair enough.
Nice game.
So we have a tier 3 subscription from Miss Unreason.
Hey!
Oh my god!
We need more emotes then.
Yes, we need to. Yes.
We need more emotes.
And
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
Alright, I remember that.
We would do.
We consider that incentive.
Yes.
We also have a 1,000-bit donation.
Oh!
Story and code.
Oh,
Story and code.
Thank you.
Wow, oh my
And
god.
another 1,000 bits from Looking Alive for a Corpse.
Wow. Thank you very much.
He's
Firmly
competitive,
taking
right?
Top place cheerer.
Oh,
Wow.
Orb is not here, but he's all the way in third now, and I don't think he's going to be very happy.
No, I think
No,
there is going to be a
definitely.
comeback on that, yeah.
There's gonna be something next week.
How embarrassing.
So we have a few questions.
Wait.
There is one carried over from last week from Story and Code.
Yes.
Ooh.
Was curious whether any of you guys have backup characters, and if,
Nope.
and if not, what clans you sort of might be interested in playing.
Okay, so funnily enough, Benjamin and I, Peter and I, because Benjamin is my imaginary friend. No, Peter and I have been looking at the book. We made a rule: no book after 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Like
Otherwise we
no
just can't
matter
get to
what,
sleep.
because if not, no one goes to sleep ever. But we've been like, whenever we watch like a movie or a series or whatever, we go like, hey, that would make like a really interesting Malkavian, or hey, I would really love to do that as a Bruja. So I would say that I do have a very strong concept in mind for another character I would like to play, but I wouldn't want to replace Moses. It's not like I'm hoping that Moses. No. But if that ever is the case, I would pitch my idea to Titus and see where that takes me. And it's not from one of the clans that we're currently playing. And that's as far as I'm going to take it.
Yeah, and I mean, similarly, I have some ideas, and the only thing I would say, sort of with certainty, is that whoever I played, if the impossible were to happen to Benjamin, then, or I should say the unthinkable, then they would be very different to him. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
They would be very unlike him, and probably from a clan not played, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the other VTM character that I had kind of knocking around in my brain, I actually ended up doing a conversion to play in the Lost Girls game on my guest spot over at WebDMs, which was hilarious because she was originally a Malkavian, and she's a terrible person. And really good fun to play.
I like it already.
And she likes getting people killed and is a bad influence. And she Diablo is a werewolf in that game, so she's already on a high. So she now exists in that world. So I probably wouldn't bring her into this one because I think that's too many worlds. I can't handle her. But in terms of what other things I would consider playing and that I would be interested in playing, again, a clan that none of us are currently playing, and certainly a very different personality to Katya's. Maybe going back a little bit towards my roots.
You mean
Not those roots.
Sabat!
Okay.
Not that far. I said towards, not like legging it right over there.
You know,
Oh, she goes to
I mean, I would love to play Alessandra, but first the Sabat has to come out. So
it occurs to me you could play a Malkavian in multiple streams, and their madness is
I
they think it's all a concurrent reality,
How cool is that?
and then you just keep referring to all of these other characters that
I
don't
could drag
exist.
all these worlds together.
Yeah.
like, are you?
I have to run that past Charlie first.
Yeah, are you John? Like, oh, sorry, wrong reality.
But yeah.
And for me, well, as I said last week, this is my first ever game of Vampire, and one thing I think I slightly is I may have made a couple of errors with the character creation, but I think that happens with every character, with every system. When you first make a system, to make a system, when you first make a character of a system. But then again, it's one of the ways you learn and grow. So I do have maybe 3 character concepts coming in mind that are just ticking away in the back of the head and thinking that would be quite interesting to play. Definitely 2 of them are not of ones we are not of clans that we currently do.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much on the same page of
We're all
trying
being
something.
cagey.
Yeah, we don't want to give it away just in case.
Don't give it away.
Yeah.
TPK happens next week.
Yeah, if TPK happens, then it's going to be down for a little while before we go.
I'm gonna obfuscate. You guys are gonna die. No, look at me.
Jim, if we're in a fight, Jim might be able to tough it out.
Yeah.
So, is there any other
Anything on
question?
any other questions?
There are some other questions. So we have
From today. Okay.
Quick, fire.
Yeah. So that was the only one from last week.
Okay.
We have one from Kirsty, who is asking if any of you have any moments that you'd like to see fan art of.
Oh, that is the best question.
Okay, what I have to say.
Start there.
What I say is, I think after Jim has sprawled away from Chris Young and Catty just leaping down with that damn knife.
Yeah.
He goes, oh my god, that was where I was going. That's Jim's job, you. Oh,
That's from
amazing.
above moment is
That
super
was
cool.
just that's my job. Damn it.
It was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, I'm a sucker for any really cute ship art because everyone at this point has a ship, whether it's Edmund and Benjamin, Edmund and Mystery Abigail. That would really piss Peter off if you drew Abigail. Oh my god.
Do it.
You could maybe do a love triangle. Like,
Yeah, many ships.
oh, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I mean, any fan art is wonderful.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
love it all.
But to I mean, maybe, I don't know, from today's session, I quite like the Benjamin handing Catty the receipt fan art. I don't know. And yeah, I mean, any Benjamin Edmund stuff for me, I think is the stuff.
I think the
that
ship
would...
is called Bedmond.
Is that right? It has an official name.
The Bedman. It even has bed
Actually,
in
no.
it.
Actually, the dominant party's got to go first. So really, it's Edgemin.
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 Benjamin or Bedman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go with Bedman.
And I guess there was the whole. Maybe the Jim looking at the footage and Moses doing his sneak attack with the motorcycle helmet would be quite fun.
We've had that one.
Oh, sorry. It's too fast. It's too fast
You
for
guys
us.
are
I don't
fine.
by Kirsty, but I think that one's come in tonight.
Yeah,
Wow.
actually, there's been a lot of fan art recently over
It's
the
been
last
amazing.
few
Yeah,
weeks. For
yeah.
example, there was fan art of a very badass moment for Jim when he just went for the, self barbecuing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thin blood,
yeah.
or that very sweet but sort of weird moment between Alice and Moses when
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
he
that's
feeds
good.
off of her. Those were coming. I think it was Cedar, and I've seen like consistently coming from
Yeah.
other sources a lot of fan art that we like. I believe we already have a little bit of fan art of the time Jim and Moses went rat feeding.
Yep.
Yes, that was classic.
But if at all possible, something with Benjamin's vision would be really wicked.
His
Oh, yeah.
scary
Like the
voice.
scary, any point of the vision, any point from where it started to be a vision all the way to where he came back. It would be really interesting to see
Basically,
how
draw
people see.
all of us getting absolutely slaughtered.
Yeah, basically, that is your excuse for a lot of gore.
Yeah.
But then
Make sure you
Benjamin on another dimension looking at lost. That would be really interesting. Thimble fan
Thimble is
art
awesome.
would be
Yeah.
really interesting as well. And probably Detective Sergeant drinking, going fuck
Yeah.
sake, Jing.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Have we had
Foggy,
any?
always love the Foggy.
And there's always Mrs. Morovsky.
Oh,
I feel like we should have
Mrs.
some
Morovsky.
Mrs. Morovsky with her newspaper and her slippers and her knife.
and a pen
Amazing.
But that's a great question. You can ask it every
Any
week.
other?
It's great.
Yeah.
Questions?
And then one more quick one.
Let's do it, let's do it.
From Miss Unreason,
Okay.
who has asked me to politely ask
Uh-oh.
if you would mind if they maybe use your characters as NPCs in their own chronicle.
Oh,
of course.
wow.
Of course, if
Honour,
you
an
want
honour.
to-
It's all about about what happened
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course, I think feel free to send us a message so we can kind of give you maybe
A little bit more information or background, so you can have a little bit of a
Always.
backstory
But of course,
without spoilers. Sorry,
Yeah.
we cannot do that. It's under a contract.
Yeah, NDA.
Yeah, we said it will eat on
Yeah.
blood, didn't we? Yeah,
Yeah, but if you want to use them,
Yeah,
I would be honored to have Moses to be
Yeah,
an NPC in Chronicle.
That's a lovely idea. Although I give them about 3 sessions before they're all dead.
Yeah,
They're pretty
I mean,
incompetent.
yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
Do you have the image there?
I do. It's ready for you.
So okay, so it's no news because everybody in the Western world does it. This Thursday is a very special day for people who are like very single like me. So there is someone that you should be seeing in your screens that is wanting to wish all of you from us from Thames a happy Valentine's Day. And if you have no one, remember it's foggy, so you will love that picture.
This is the day we historically go out and gather human hearts.
Exactly.
for
That's
the
why
sacrifice.
Foggy is there with a balloon.
Two Baphomets.
Will you be my Valentine to all of you? So I hope you like it. Thank you, Natalie,
Please
for
drop
doing
them
it.
all off at your local chantry.
This is the Valentine's. That's as corny as we get because we have Foggy as an excuse.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
You did have Foggy as an excuse.
The burn! I feel it.
What's that? 4 aggravated damage. That burn.
Yeah.
That's worse
Yeah.
than Jim's arm.
That's a social combat. ST gets +3 damage.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's really brutal. So I think that's it,
I think
right?
we're done. I think.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
So heading back.
New and better Titus. Okay. Hey, some of you might already know me. My name is Jenny, aka Vampluencer. I played Antisocial Agnes in 1 or 2 episodes on Blood on the Thames, and I'm working for White Wolf. And yeah, I wanted to announce a little giveaway the lovely coterie and I are doing on the 20th episode. This will be on March 4th, I think. So, yes, they are saying yes, they are right. Everything they say, I don't.
Right? Oh my god.
Wow, they call me.
like this storyteller
They
better
call me the Jon Snow of White Wolf. Really, I know nothing. So, yeah. And how you can join the giveaway of the V5 core book that I will be giving away personally because I bought 2 once. I don't need 2 books, so you can have it. You can join the giveaway if you subscribe to the lovely Blood on the Thames Twitch channel, or if you support them on Patreon, or both. I don't care. Do it.
That's premonition.
Just do it. They deserve it. Yeah, this gives you 1 ticket, and if you what is it? Cheering, right?
Yeah,
I said
yeah,
if you do cheering on Twitch, like for every 100 cheers, you gain an extra ticket, so you get your name 2 times in the giveaway. So if you cheer 100, you get it 1. If you cheer 500, you get your names 6 times. No, 6 times because the subscription is 1. So yeah, and that's basically it from me. I hope you're having fun watching the stream. And yeah, I will.
Probably posting on the website.
Yeah,
more about
Yes,
that later.
All the
yes.
details will be on the
All the
website on Sunday.
details about this. This comes with lots of love, with signatures from all the nice players over there, and maybe with Foggy.
But we will
Who
be there in
knows?
spirit.
Yeah.
Remember.
In spirit.
Yes.
It's alright. It's okay. It's okay. Foggy
Never
And
forget.
shipping is free worldwide. I do this. So
Foggy
yeah,
raised the oblivion.
rocks. It's with love.
Never
Okay.
forget, Foggy 2001.
So I think you get the real Titus back now because I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not good at telling stories.
Nice.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
So as you heard, we're doing again
Hello.
giveaway of a
Hello.
5 core rulebook. And look,
Yes. So, thank you, Jenny, for that. So episode 20, that's when we're going to be looking at doing that giveaway. So it should be on the aforementioned date, but you know, never. No, it will be on that date. So, yeah, get involved with that, guys. So, is there anything else we needed to cover?
No, I think we're good.
No?
Nah,
Cool.
I just succeeded my stealth check. It's fine.
Did you?
She willpowered it.
Yeah, totally.
Don't we all, Batty? So, going back in then. So you got one success. Okay. Just the one.
I'm off to my favourite car park.
Just to the lonely one success. Okay, so you guys, everyone else. Moses, you are heading on alongside Katia, and you're keeping a decent pace, confident that nobody can see you. People that are in your way unconsciously move themselves so that they don't knock into you. And you're trailing on behind him, keeping an eye out until you see that car park.
I'm like, fuck, oops.
And as you begin following through towards that alleyway, you take a glance in with Moses kind of breaking up ahead, and there is no one in it. Where it connects to the other side of the road, separated with a single kind of what's the word? Bollard? Yeah, with a single bollard kind of separating it from the street. There's no one in there, and you both stop and have a glance around and a listen.
I have a wander around because
Okay.
I want to look the way of the alley that they came in, the alleyway. and
Okay,
all that.
so both of you make wits plus awareness rolls.
Take proof this stat.
This is what your XP's for, guys.
I think I've got quite enough yet. That's actually no, that's not a die fail, or is it die fail? Because those two
it's
count.
a
Sound
success.
one, you have a one success.
You've got a
Oh, okay,
success, you're
cool.
okay. It's only if it's contested, I think.
3?
3.
One. I'm just too frightened by this car park, apparently, or pissed off by it.
Okay. Katia, you glance around, looking down into this alleyway, looking towards the spot where Darren Fitcher made his introduction with you formally. And so taken are you with these memories and glancing down, just expecting to see them off down this alley. You remain oblivious to what Moses notes, that they've actually gone round the other way towards the far end of the car park, and they're making their way down the street, almost as though they've gone off somewhere and they're making their way back towards the car. And they both stop as they see you looking down that alleyway.
They see her.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And just as you are kind of glancing back towards Moses, you realise that the one that's in front with his hands in his pockets is the same individual, Graham, who was speaking to you, and he's looking at you, just kind of not so much curious as it is bemused. And then he just goes,
Who's the girl? Can we see her better now?
yeah, she's a girl that has her head shorn, like almost skin, so that you can see her scalp. And she's dressed in what looks to be an almost... It's like a dress that's been converted. It's like a jury-rigged kind of... It looks like it should be the top of a dress, but it comes down into jeans that are cut just below the knees.
Okay.
It's curious. It's clearly something that she's made herself. And you can't quite decide whether it looks good or whether it just looks a mess. It kind of makes the line between the two. But she's lingering just with him as she's following his gaze over towards Katia. And just standing there as he just makes a wave. And then, with his hands in his pockets, he starts making his way over towards her. Like a kind of hurried pace, like someone
Towards
would
Katia.
seize... Yeah, not in a kind of bull rushing towards her, but as a kind of way of... Like if you're crossing over the street to go and see someone, you're making your way over before the cars, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of jog towards her, whereas the other girl kind of lingers back, and she stops and just looks around slowly.
Okay. How do you want to play this?
Are you just asking me right there with your voice?
Well, yeah, whispering as they approach us from the end
He.
of the street.
Just him, on his own.
Okay, as he's approaching, it's like, how do you want to play this?
Act natural, I guess.
I'm backing you up. So remember, you're alone. And I move a little bit away from her.
Okay.
When I say it's a couple of meters, but not too much. Enough that I'm close, but I don't want him to be in his way as to potentially have anything happen.
Okay. So he runs up a good few meters from you and just stops. And he just smiles. He's hunched almost as though despite the fact it's summertime, it's still quite cold. And he seems to almost be bracing against it in a kind of hunched way, almost like he's, just in a kind of conversational, it's chilly, I'm just having a conversation type way. But he has a presence about him which is still quite captivating. I fancy seeing you here. Didn't expect you to be following down this way.
Well, it got me thinking. I didn't get your full name earlier.
No?
No.
McEwen.
Graham McEwen. It's a good name. Of course, you can't be too careful these days. When I see someone, I guess, and you were kind of snooping around, there have been a lot of people going missing lately. I like to know who's wandering around.
You can understand why I'm snooping if I'm looking for someone, surely.
Yeah, I can understand.
Kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, no, I understand 100%, but then you can understand likewise why I guess you can say that I'm snooping as well.
Wouldn't you leave that for the police?
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
if someone is, kind of taking people off the street or whatever, it's kind of brazen just to go running off.
They haven't
on
solved the
your own.
last few crimes. I don't know if I trust the law enforcement anymore. I like to know what's going on.
Yeah, well, ballsy. But, I've got no one that I've abducted. It's a friend of mine. Here of her own free will, aren't you? And she just goes, yep.
That looks like a somewhat begrudging free will. Not in like a meek way, but entertainingly standoffish, perhaps.
Well, you can meet her and ask her yourself if you want.
I'd like that.
And the girl kind of spits on the ground and just makes her way over towards you. And then just stops next to him. And she looks at you slowly, kind of... Not in that kind of aggressive way, but the way that you kind of just survey someone in their entirety. And it's quite clear that based upon her impassive expression at the end of it, she's quite a difficult person to read. This is Amy.
Nice to meet you, Amy.
And she's just giving me a hand. Just looking for Alison.
Yeah, I remember you said Ali earlier. Is something wrong? Have you had someone go missing as well?
Wait, which name did I give you?
You said Ali, then you said Alicia.
Oh, okay. Right, well, yeah. Well, she goes by a few names, so I didn't know whether or not you were a different one. Alison, Alicia, Ali.
Just go
Goes
by
by
what
them
you
all.
gave me.
Well, if she does happen to, stop by again, just let her know that Graham's looking for her.
I will. Is there anything else I should tell her? Anything you don't want me to tell her?
Well, if there's stuff I didn't want her to know, then she's not going to know about it if I don't tell you.
That's totally fair.
So, got any questions for her, Amy? Nope.
Well, if you did want to know anything about this area, I could probably give you a little hand.
Alright. Question for you then. You're, one of the tenants. Broken nose.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Oh, that'd be Jim.
Jim? Just Jim?
Yeah. Jim Woods.
Jim Woods. Thank you, Kaya.
You're welcome. Before you go, a little exchange maybe.
Sure.
I know you were looking for a few people in that. You're looking through the ledger. Don't suppose I could ask why?
Seeing if she was there under any aliases. I know she's been there.
Yeah.
Don't know how recent.
She means something to you?
Yeah, complicated.
I understand.
And the quicker I find her, the quicker that she can go home, and she's not an outdoorsy type.
No?
No. More of a computer nerd.
I see.
They look pissed, it's true. She's... Forgive her. She's not very social.
Of course.
If you see your lad, I want to tell him to get that fixed.
Yeah, he gets into scrapes a lot.
Well, I won't hold you up anymore. If you need anything, well, you know where we're going to be for the time being.
Do indeed.
And it's been good to meet you, Kay.
You too. Maybe we'll bump into each other again.
Without a doubt. Come on. And he turns, he starts marching around the corner and off to the left.
Walkie-talkie. I'll follow them. Go back to the cross hands. And I start following with them with unseen passage.
Okay.
Like immediately. I jump to it. Give her the walkie-talkie and go.
Okay.
I assume I need to roll.
Yes. Right, so this will be shadowing.
Yes.
So we're going to say this will be wits. It's going to be stealth.
Okay.
And do you have shadowing spec?
No.
Nope, then just as it is.
Still quite a lot of dough.
Yep. That is willpower point. No. The thing is that I have,
Yeah, no, I can
as
see.
things stand, a messy critical, and a total of 7 successes. And I think I want to keep it into 4 successes. But if I get another 0, oh no, yes.
You
yes.
won't. It's fine.
What is it?
6 successes, no messy critical. Now I'm happy.
Okay.
With hunger 1.
We will go back to you in a moment.
Cool.
So, meanwhile, you two have both left the three-legged cat, making your way back towards the crossed hands. What do you want to do when you get there?
Benjamin's feeling quite shaken up after all that excitement, so I imagine what he's going to do is go do what he always does when the going gets tough, and that is go and paint something.
Okay.
Because he has something he needs to finish for Edmund, and it needs to be better than anything he's ever done before. So I think he's going to go and settle in his room and have a go at that for a little bit.
Okay. How long do you want to spend doing
Not all night, just because I'll see how I go, but yeah.
Okay. Just find your previous total. Is it the same piece? Or are you working on something
Same
new?
piece. It's the Agnes, Moses, and the creature piece.
I see. And meanwhile, Jim, what are you doing?
Jim's gonna head back to the cross hands, probably having a little bit long route and head up to Benjamin.
Okay. So you're going up onto the roof. Did you say?
Benjamin?
Ben's room, apologies. Yep, so you head up towards Ben's room just as Ben is getting in, and he has a piece that's already out and he's gotten his tools ready, but then as soon as you hear...
You knocking. So I'll cover the piece.
Yep.
Yes, come in.
Open the door.
Oh, good, it's you. I was worried for a moment it might be the police or
I was
something.
going to roll my head and try and heal 1 point of the damage. That's a failure.
Easy come, easy go.
Easy come, easy go. Okay. Oh, no. So,
So sorry, whilst he's coming in and talking to me, is his nose starting to kind of go back into place?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
quite disturbing seeing it do that without him touching it.
I will be a bit.
Yeah. It's kind of like... It's like watching one of those medical things in fast reverse,
Or
kind
like
of like...
a very weird Muppet show.
Yeah. You know, that you'd show to kids so that they can't sleep at night.
I was like, I'm still not used to that.
yeah.
I think. Oh wait, make sure we shut the door. I was like, of everything, of all the strange things since we've become like this. That's the thing that really strikes me. That we're not really normal anymore. Sorry, I'm assuming you didn't come in just to show me that though. I'm assuming you came to say something. Sorry. Yes. What did you want?
Thank you for earlier. That was.
Oh yes. Well, I think it's good that someone was with you.
Yes.
I think it's very difficult when we get very hungry, isn't it? That's the thing.
You haven't been hungry often?
Well, no. If I start to get hungry, I immediately go and because I don't want to get like that. Because what would happen if I lost control? I mean, terrible.
That is one of the things that is true about all of us, and at some point, unfortunately, it is going to happen. You will have a body in your hands.
Yes. What?
At some point, you're going to kill someone.
But what if I'm very, very careful? And if I get hungry, I have people with me, and they
Even
can.
the most careful among us will at some point kill. It's one of the unfortunate facts of us. We will kill at some point.
Oh, it's.
But thank you for.
Oh, well, you're welcome. I just hope that lady's all right.
I'm hoping that the ambulance will get to her in time, but I don't know.
I think it's. I haven't been that hungry. I know what it's like when you start to get hungry, and how hard it must be. But I felt like we were very close to more.
Yes.
And I really don't think we can afford any more at the moment.
No, we can't.
And I didn't. I mean, what they were saying about Moses and that. I'll pause in a paranoid fashion and just have a heightened sense of listen to make sure there's no one breathing at the door or anything.
You stop and you listen. There is no sounds from. You can hear Miss Morosky downstairs, getting ready to close up and go to bed, but you can't hear anything from your floor.
Oh. It's so hard to know what to say and when you can say it. But yes, I don't know. These things seem to happen so quickly, don't they?
They do, and especially when you got the task that I am trying to run for this coterie.
The thing is, I remember how scared I was at just the idea of doing any of this. And it's become very normal very quickly. And I remember seeing Michael Chase in the theatre, and he had these they were people, but he killed half of them, the other half were dying, and he had his arms around them, and he just didn't care, and it was the most terrifying thing. And I'm thinking, is that what we're going to end up like? Are we going to be sitting in theatres with dead people, smiling at impressionable young people, scaring them for fun? Is that what we're going to end up like?
First off, he's a toreador. They're vain fuckers.
But I mean,
so vain.
Right?
God, like I mentioned, they believe they're above the rest of us.
So you're saying that because I'm not a toreador, that won't happen to me?
Well, I'm not saying it won't, but it's less likely to. Your clan are just mad and see things. That's
what do you mean mad? I mean, I've heard that we can see things.
Yeah, from what Maya's side told me is that Malkamans do see things.
Yes.
But they're all in some way mad.
No, they're not. Well, I'm not mad, and Edwin's not mad.
But how would you know that you're not mad?
Oh, that's a horrible question. But then I could say the same to you. How do you know you're not mad?
Same thing.
Well, then that's meaningless. It's meaningless. Well, I suppose. Well, I'd rather be mad than sitting in a theatre full of dead people smiling at other people, I suppose. But I think maybe you're. I don't know. I don't really know your sire. But maybe they're wrong. Maybe they're wrong. I'm just saying. Do you know, it's funny. I mean, obviously there's the Primogen, but I haven't really met him, so I haven't really met many others of my clan. I don't really think of myself. I don't identify myself as that really. I mean, it's just I'm just me.
Yes, you are. you do have a bit of a kindness too, which is.
Oh, thank you, Jim.
It's one that, but then again, you do have your devotion to your sire, which is not good. It's not useful for us.
Well, but doesn't it depend on who the sire is? I mean, I don't know. I have the impression. I mean, although I have the impression that Katia's sire isn't a very good sire, for example.
You notice that Moses will not talk about his sire,
Exactly,
so
exactly.
I'm pretty sure they're both assholes.
Right, and Edmund is wonderful, so of course I'm going to have a nice relationship with him. Don't you see there's a difference? It's not to do with sires always being bad or good. It's to do with the person. You can't judge you can't tar them with the same brush, can you? Really?
And we can tar that each and every one of us has a monster inside of us that will kill if we let it. If it even gets a slight, it will kill.
Yes, and obviously, I'm sure no matter how wonderful we are, we will have moments where our temper is justifiably but sorely tested, and we might in a moment of anger lash out, but it's not our fault, and it's always contained, and it doesn't threaten the masquerade, and that's the important thing. And in the end, everything's fine. It's fine. It's all fine in the end. It is.
Well, in the end.
Yes. And, might, in a moment of madness, lose focus on who's important, but it passes. You lost your focus for a moment, but then you got it back and you were fine. And that will happen for all of us. Mm-hmm. We'll remember what's important and who's important.
Well,
yes.
I need to. Thank you for that. I wonder how they get on with finding out who that guy is, because that's something that I've got to be worried about.
Yes, there is a lot going on. To be honest with you, I was just going to have a moment to collect myself and calm down. But obviously, if there's anything else that needs, doing, what are you going to do now? Now that you've recovered yourself, your focus.
I want to check on my sister.
Right.
But
you don't know where she is, do you? Or do you?
I'm afraid of what I'll find and what'll happen if I find something.
Are you saying? Do you just want to know that she's all right? Is that what this is? Is that what you mean? You want to see that she's okay?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you knew where she was, I could look for you. And she wouldn't. She doesn't even know who I am, and she wouldn't see me anyway. If I didn't want her to.
I would need to see with my own eyes, but I.
But I could tell you. I could draw you a picture if you want. I mean, I'm just saying. She knows you, and obviously it would breach the masquerade if she sees you. But I could see her for you if you want. If you can tell me where she is, do you know where she is?
I know where her place is, but I.
Oh, at her house?
Yeah, I don't.
Is it local?
It's in London.
Whereabouts?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to answer now, but have a think about it. If you'd like me to go and have a look at her house and see if she's all right, I can absolutely do that. Not a problem. Be very easy.
Just as you remember early on when the first few days we were here?
Yes, it was awful, as I recall.
The
Katia went a bit strange, and we had that horrible business with that Fitcher person.
Yeah, that.
I had to go into McDonald's. Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, that. If you ever think you're in a situation where you've got to try and take care of someone, call me, because that's my job. Because
now
we do as we unfortunately have different roles to play, and the physical role, both trying to protect all three of you, and fucking people up who fucked us up. That's my role.
So Jim, when you say take care of someone, you mean in the sort of gangster sense of take care of someone, rather than the oh, we'll look after that person who we care about, take care of someone. That's
Both.
right. So what you're saying is, if there was someone that I wanted, I don't know, removed, that you would be able to do that?
It is the thing of, have they fucked with the coterie?
So if someone has, to use your parlance, fucked with one of the coterie, like me for example, and I wished them gone, that you would be the person to speak to for that to happen.
Of course, if...
You say it all so casually, Jim. This is terrifying, but it's also very interesting. And all right, well, thank you. That's a very kind offer, and I will think about it.
Yeah, but
So I will.
bear in mind with this, Ben.
Sorry.
Bear in mind with this, Ben. I hate that this job falls to me. I do not enjoy this.
Oh no, of course not.
But others, who the fuck's gonna do it? Come on.
Right. So you're saying
you're not exactly. You've improved a bit with your fighting, but you're a long way off.
Absolutely. No. I'm not really I'm not a removed person sort of person.
That leap catches from the window. That was very impressive. But I think she got lucky with that.
Well, I think I think Katia is actually quite impressive in terms of violence when you think about it. I mean, she's often very civil but I think that's part of the skill, isn't it? You see, you trick people into thinking that you're just a kind of mild-mannered, civilized individual, but then when you need to, when the situation demands it, you leap from the window with a knife and you kill people. I mean, that's very... But you have to hide these things. It's impressive, really, when you think about it.
She's a Tremere, they hide a lot.
Well, but maybe that's why she survives so well, because she's able to kind of hide those killer skills, you know.
And then we got Moses, who will vanish into thin air. Well, apparently.
Well, I mean, I think it's very useful that Moses can do that kind of thing.
All right, Moses could have prevented the damage to both my face and his had he just taken a fucking moment. But
oh, Jim, now look, I sympathise that violence is never the answer, apart from in the earlier time we discussed. But you had broken in. I mean, you had smashed his lock, and you'd broken into his room, and you remember how upset I was when everyone broke into my room.
What would you do for your Kelly?
Yes, and well, quite
It's
a lot.
simple. What would you do?
Well, whatever. What would I do? I would. Well, whatever she asked me, I suppose.
Would you do anything you was necessary to protect her? Anything to find out as soon as you could?
Well, I might, but let's say, for example, that someone I cared about, like my sister, was in danger, and I needed the coterie to protect her. I wouldn't break into their rooms, and I wouldn't punch them. I mean, I would be really nice to them, and I would try and make it as convenient as possible for them to help me. That's what I'm trying to say, Jim. The fact that you need something is understandable, but if you then make people feel unsafe around you, then they're not going to want to help you. That's all. And I understand that you were very worried, and I would be very worried if my sister was hurt, but I wouldn't break into your room and rifle through your things and then say, well, that was fine. That's all. Do you see?
I'm not saying it was fine. It's just
Well, you sort of are.
I've been used to working alone, and I'm trying.
No, look, I understand. I understand you're trying, and I'm not used to working with murder and violence and the police and hiding from them on a regular basis. We're all learning, and it's good that you want to learn, and tonight we managed to work together, and it was good, and you've helped me be less afraid of everything, which is good. And we'll just have to keep doing that in little steps, and then we'll get there, that's all. I really recommend being especially nice to Moses for a while, that's all. I think it would go a long way if you were nice and maybe promptly repaired his door. That's my suggestion.
Do I look like a guy who knows how to fix things?
No, I don't mean yourself. I mean pay or give Moses the money so he can get someone to fix it.
I open my wallet, that I said, "Oh, nothing was up."
Yes. All right, you have no money, but that's surely all the more reason not to break things you don't own. That's my point.
Well,
look, all right, look.
If it wasn't for Moses, a fucking maid wouldn't have my fucking veto.
I mean, that's slightly out of my understanding, really, to be honest with you. But I tell you what, why don't I, for now, loan you some money to fix the door? Yes? I'll loan you some money to fix the door, and then at some point, when you have found a way to, get some money, you can pay me the money back. What about that? Because a little bit of money won't be a big problem for me, but I think it is a problem if you don't fix the problem with Moses. Do you see? Would that be agreeable? Or do you have another method or someone else you can approach?
No, thank you. I think I'll take you up on that offer, and
fine.
Yeah, if someone is messing with you, please just tell me all the information. So.
Oh yes,
then I know
that's
what to
quite
do.
right. Yes, I should get information.
And of course.
And then yes.
And of course, if someone is screwing with you, you should try and tell all of us. It's like we got this thing with a bloody poacher.
Oh yes. But I think that's something that Moses and Katia were dealing with. All right, so I will gather information on my situation. It's not really a situation yet, but it could become one. And if it does, I'll get all of the information together and I'll bring it to you. Wonderful.
I think if we're looking at dealing with a specific someone, I might say I have a situation that we'd like to deal with, and then bring us all in.
Really?
Let's as you were saying, try to keep working together.
All right, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. All right, all right. But no, it's a very kind offer, and I will bear it in mind. Do you? And if you let me know how much money it's going to cost, I will sort something. I suppose you can't, can you? On account of you being dead. Fine. All right. No. I'll look. Leave it with me. I'll get it sorted out at some point. Don't worry. I'll do it. And then I'll let you know. I'll give you the receipt when I'm done.
I've got to admit, Ben, that as Stuart was saying, Katia lose control and smash the window, that was funnier.
Yes. Do you know why it was funnier? Brilliant. Do you know why it was funnier? Yeah. Because it wasn't shocking and violent and scary. That's why it was funnier. I feel that's important for humour, that people shouldn't be terrified. But I'm glad you appreciated it. Between us, I did feel a little thrill of pleasure to be able to resolve that issue. It's been bugging me for a while.
We all have different skill sets around here. Mine just, well.
No, look. There are lots of things you can do I couldn't even dream of doing, and that's important. That you can. That's a good thing.
It's really the two things I'm doing is better hitting you, and I can take more hits than you, which is.
Oh yes, no, I remember. I've seen.
Did we show you the thin blood corpse? That was school?
I'm fine. No, it's all good. It's fine.
That's
fine. That's fine. No, I think I've seen plenty of corpses. I feel like my education is complete. It's all good.
That corpse is long gone. The issue is that was one. Well, I tried to beat the flames out of her so we could question her. That's why my hand got scorched.
I'm delighted that we're having this sharing moment, but I'm fine. I'm fine not to know any more about this corpse business.
What are you working on, out of curiosity?
It's a work in progress, and I generally don't show other people stuff when I'm in the middle of it. I feel the thing is, sometimes people react, and then that can influence the work. And I feel it's important not to interfere with the purity of it. You see, but I'm working on something because Edmund has he's going to make a presentation to the Primogen. And he wants to feature some of my art, and so there's a lot of pressure on this being especially good. Obviously, always I want it to be especially good, but this feels like there's a particular pressure because I really feel like this piece could mean a lot to both of us if I get it right.
All right.
Actually, I'm worried about something. I think Michael Chase is going to do something to try and ruin it. And I don't know what to do about it. Because if I mention it to Edmund, I think it's going to upset him.
I noticed there was a little thing at the...
I think...
I was trying to avoid everyone.
Yes, no. I think the thing is that I don't think Michael doesn't like the fact that Edmund is doing such incredible work, and I think he feels maybe threatened by Edmund in some way, and he wants to try, you know, rather than competing on a pure artistic level of merit where you present your pieces and let people decide. He wants to sabotage Edmund's work, and I think he's willing to do anything to do that. I just don't know how you stop him. I mean, he's a primogen, and he's horrible, and he kills people for fun. What do you do about someone like that?
That's my realm of touching, I'm afraid. To deal with someone like that.
Because you see, I think because Edmund's going to show it to the primogen, and that means that obviously Michael will be there. And if Michael hasn't already ruined it in some underhanded way by then, he's going to ruin it at the event. I'm sure of it.
Well,
I'm sure of it.
That sounds like a social thing, which is more our lovely Katya's.
You think I should talk to Katya about this?
Yeah, that's.
I will
that's
do
an issue.
that. Yes.
That's again. We have.
All right, no, you're quite right. I'll talk to Katya.
More Katya's wheelhouse than mine. I'm more.
Yeah, I understand. I'll talk to her.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I can't remember. Oh, you said you wanted. So, are you going to look for your sister, or are you just going to wait?
I don't know.
Can I? Is he still wearing the same clothes he had on when he went hunting? ST?
Apologies. So
is he still wearing the same clothes he had on when he was
Yes.
hunting? I'll say, can I suggest you get changed first? Given, you know, the police presence and those strange people watching us, and you know, the masquerade breaches and things.
You've been throwing jab after jab. I'm really sorry, but every time he does, I cannot stop it. You've been doing little things, but they pile up. Masquerade breaches.
I'm really worried. I think, and all these guests here, I think it's a bad thing in a way because there's so many more people around that can notice what we're doing. Makes me nervous.
Again,
I like it when it's quiet.
Yeah, as I said, it is useful for us to have. Basically, they have their emergency meals. I don't like it.
Listen, just remember Moses' phrase.
Yeah.
And don't do it. Please. Yeah. And if you're thinking about doing it, maybe talk to the others.
Again, I'd rather not, but the option is there.
If you need me for anything, I will be here. Otherwise, I'm going to produce something wonderful, hopefully. And yes, I might go out a bit later, but I'm going to be here for a little bit. So if you need me, I'm here. Otherwise, why not go and get changed? And then whatever.
All right.
All right. Well, have a nice evening, and obviously you know where I am.
Yeah. And I head out.
Okay. I'll take the walkie-talkie just because I've realised that I haven't, and I'll go. Oh, terribly sorry. Forgot to say everything's fine. And then put.
Which is the response you would have gotten, or you would have gotten before you handed it over.
Yeah, probably before we left.
Okay. So as you've headed off. And you're still in the car park. Is there anywhere you want to go, or anything you want to do?
Katya's going to head back to Cross Hands, but given the previous encounter and the fact that she's quite hungry, I think she's going to try and hunt before she goes home while she's on Hunger 3 rather than Hunger 4 because it's generally a bit safer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, give me an idea of what her plan is.
So she's going to do her usual thing. She's going to find like a bar or maybe that new music venue. If it's an off night, it should just be like loads of people. Well, some people in there just chilling.
Trillins?
Yeah, Trillins. And she'll do her usual thing, which she prefers not to do when other people are around, and that she'll try and find someone confident and brash and arseholeish and basically try and go back to their car with them.
Okay.
It's usually she uses charisma.
We'll say
persuasion for that one.
Charisma plus persuasion.
That's what she used in the past.
Yeah, sure. Make the check.
Does her negotiation thing come in?
Yeah, sure.
Don't. This is where it all goes wrong. I wanted to do it before I had 4 red die. This is also why I didn't spend any willpower earlier.
Yeah. now I get it.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, what an abysmal roll. That's 3 successes at the moment, but I'm gonna do some rerolls. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's still 3. Can you willpower again? Spend another point of willpower? No, I don't think so.
No. Do you want to succeed at a cost?
Nah, she'll leave it.
Okay. You spend most of the time in Trillins just looking around for individuals, but the few people that do approach you do not have the kind of personality traits that would make you more comfortable with feeding from them. And the ones that do look pretty assholish are in the company of friends and the rest, and it's hard for you to kind of get their attention and drag them away.
Oh, well, this is why you do it on Hunger 3, then you can always come back tomorrow.
So where did you want to head to after this? It wouldn't have taken you too long to get the rough idea. Okay. So you make your way back. We'll jump to you in a minute. You make your way back towards the crossed hands. These two are already in the middle of their, having finished their conversations. Jim's gone off to go and get changed. You're in the midst of doing your painting. What would you like to do?
She wants to go back up and check her room first.
Okay.
Just to see if anything's changed.
Okay. So you go up towards your room and open the door and step in. And that's the first thing that you note is that your door isn't locked. But nothing else at a glance appears to have been moved. Unless you want to do a more thorough check.
Yeah, just as long as the little offering is still there.
Still there.
I really would prefer it if you didn't unlock my door. If you would rather have something else, I can probably find you something more interesting than spiders. Do you like rats? I can find you rats. I'm sure there's a cat around here somewhere, if you want that. But, I mean, if you want to show me any more hideous visions of death, you could also do that. I accept that as a form of communication. On the other hand, if you just want to have a conversation sometime, I'm usually here. If you're lonely, I'm quite good at just talking. I'm a good listener, but you know, just bear it in mind. I'm just gonna lock my door and go back downstairs.
You move back towards the door and you open it, and then you realise that there is someone stood at the bottom of the stairs, just staring up at you.
What do they look like?
It looks to be a guy that's darkish of skin, has close cut hair, and is just staring up at you. And he feels familiar somehow. You're not quite sure where from. His clothes are quite faded.
Can I try and roll to remember, or try and work out where I've seen him before?
Yeah, sure. I'll say intelligence plus investigation.
That's fair. That's fair. I understand. That's 4 successes.
Wow. Nice.
Fucking hell.
Critical success?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
This is the individual who was hanging from your ceiling. And he's standing there just staring at you.
Nice to see you again.
And he just turns and then starts down the corridor.
I will follow him.
Okay. You move down to the bottom of your stairs and you turn the corner and there is no one there. But then Jim's door opens and stops.
Jim, you haven't got any guests, have you?
Jim's in the middle of a shower.
If I can hear the shower, I'm not going in.
You can hear the shower.
But I will leave his door open because that's
wah.
funny.
No, the door opens. And then as you're kind of halfway down listening, you turn back towards yours and you realise that the far 2 doors have opened. Quietly, you haven't heard them open, but they're both open.
It's in the far 2 doors, is it?
Yeah, the 2 closest to where your room is.
Okay, well, maybe we can chat later, because once again I'm being pulled this way and that, but we really should have a good conversation at some point. I would love to get to know you, so I guess maybe see you later. Nice suit. And then I'll go down probably to Benjamin's room, because I haven't heard from Moses. I assume he's not back yet. And we'll knock on Benjamin's door.
Yes?
It's me.
Oh, good. Come in.
open it up.
Everything going all right?
Yes. Come in and close the.
Yes. Yes.
So, yes, the hunt was successful. It was a
Good.
little touch and go, I suppose. I'm a little worried for the. But I'm sure she'll be fine. I'm sure it will be fine.
I'm not going to ask any more questions.
Fine. But it wasn't. It was salvaged, shall we say? It was all fine.
Okay, well, Moses and I learnt a fair bit about our visitors from earlier.
Yes.
The ones that looked at you as you left.
Yes, they were up to something. That was not an ordinary business. The way he
Yes.
was watching us. I wondered if he was an undercover policeman or something.
No, I don't think they're that. There's an unsettling friendliness about them. I saw them face to face. We had a
Yes.
conversation.
Yes.
The name is Graham McEwen.
Oh right, I've never heard of him.
No, I don't know if any of us will have heard the name before. Seems to know Jim. I think Miss Morowski told him his name.
Right.
In fact, I think he knows all of us probably by name now. If he was making a note of everyone in the leisure, he was looking over it quite closely. I don't think he's anything to do with police.
Mm. So why is he taking such an interest?
Not sure. I feel he's looking for a certain kindred. I don't think it's any of us.
Oh, so it's someone who knows about us.
Probably.
And
We don't seem to be the target.
well, that's a relief, I suppose.
But Moses has stayed behind to try and watch them a little bit more.
Right. All right.
So I'm waiting to hear back from him.
So actually, Jim suggested I talk to you about something.
Right?
Well, I'm working on a piece. In fact, I've been working on a few pieces recently for a display that Edmund is going to do to the Primogen, and it's quite an important thing for him and quite a high stakes thing for him. And the thing that worries me
Good
is
joke.
why is
Well, you know, stakes.
Oh, is that all right? Well, anyway, the thing that worries me is that I think Michael Chase is going to try and ruin it.
Quite possibly.
Well, I mean, almost certainly. He's in the past. He's shown a desire to thwart Edmund's work, not work, but presentations and things, and I'm worried because obviously it means a lot to Edmund, and I don't know what to do about it. But I'm sure Michael is going to do something terrible, and I don't know how to help. And I'm a bit worried about telling Edmund because I fear that if I raise this to him, he's going to get very upset.
Really? You don't think he would rather you told him that you were worried? You don't think he would care if you were worried?
Oh, I think he'll care. I'm just worried about how he'll react. I think it's going to.
Do you think his reaction will be worse if Michael Chase did something and he wasn't prepared for it? He might think that you withheld it from him.
Oh.
And
no, that would not do.
Exactly,
at all.
and you know how it's gone in the past. He might think maybe you even sided with Michael Chase on this.
Oh no. No, that can't happen.
No, it can't. So perhaps you ought to warn him that something might happen.
I'll have to warn him.
Just say you've got a bad feeling. I mean,
Yes,
you're both fully aware that sometimes your mind reveals things.
I mean it does, but I haven't seen anything. It's just.
No, it's still a gut feeling. Maybe it's not that dissimilar.
All I've seen is that Michael has in the past deliberately taken steps to try
certainly.
and sabotage Edmund's gallery. I mean, I know that, and I think he's going to do something.
I feel like at least making her aware might be the lesser of two evils.
Yes. All right.
And he might be a little harsh, but at least then he's prepared and won't think that you're working Michael Chase if you voice your suspicions.
Yes. No. I don't want him to think that. I'd rather anything than think that. That would be awful. That would be terrible.
Pretty bad.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
Well, should I leave you to get on with your work then?
If there's nothing else that's going on.
I'm waiting for Moses. I'm a little anxious. I'm hoping everything's all right. Those two were very confident in themselves. I'm sure they were expecting some form of tale. But he's got his phone. If he needs it, he gave me the walkie-talkie, which in retrospect was probably not the best idea because I came pretty much straight back.
Oh, hang on, is that... I'll take out the walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
This one?
Yes.
Oh, yes, right. Oh, yes, that's not very helpful, is it? Oh dear. Well,
I'm
let's
sure
hope he's
he'll
all
let us know
right.
if anything happens.
How?
Mobile phone.
Did you do that?
No. Is everything all right?
No, I'm right here. You don't need to use it.
Is there anything you want to say?
What? If this is a joke by Moses, if this is a joke...
This isn't a joke, this isn't a joke. Help?
No, I'm feeling quite unsettled now. What is going on?
It's alright, it's okay, just hold on to it, don't reply, I'll see what I can do. You just paint. Just paint. Don't worry about anything.
It's a little difficult.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Right.
You know?
This feels very creepy.
If you need anything, I'll be in my room.
All right. So you going?
Yeah, I'm going with walkie-talkie.
All right. Well, I'll put my walkie-talkie back down and I will start working.
Meanwhile, Jim, as you are washing away the the debris,
The obligatory shower scene.
you don't really need to wash anything out your eyes, but out of habit you do. And then turn towards the glass shutter, and there is an outline of someone on the other side of it.
This into a combat pose, and then
Really intimidating right now.
slowly open the door.
There's no one there. And you pull it back, and then you realise that the reason why there's no one on the other side is the reflection shows it's behind you.
All right. Not funny. Well, not funny for me, but maybe for you. Is there anything I can do for you?
You feel a soft pressure against your back, and as you stop and turn and look, the moment you turn around, there is an individual's face an inch away from yours, just staring at you, and before you can react, you feel as though you've been smacked square in the chest, and you are sent propelled backwards through the glass shutter, and it shatters around you, and you land in a hail of glass and droplets of blood. You will take 5, half down to 2, up to 3 points of superficial.
Actually, just deal it as well. Wow.
Ow! And you will hear as you're moving off with your walkie-talkie the
Motherfucker! Why?
Was that you?
Am I aware that this has happened? Or is it
and you
too
can
far
hear,
away?
you're still in your room, you can hear it sounds like a very quiet voice, and you stop and you listen, you bring it up closer to listen, and you can hear a woman's voice, a soft woman's voice, speaking, mumbling as though asleep, saying something that you can't quite make out. And then you realise after a few moments the voice belongs to Mrs. Morovsky.
So is it just carrying on, like really quietly?
No, it's very like irregular. It's like it's almost like someone's put a walkie-talkie next to her while she's speaking in her sleep.
I think I go downstairs.
Okay. You go into Mrs. Morovsky's. You wander past his door, which is still open.
I reach for my phone and text and Kelly. ghost issue, I think. Ow.
You guys are
There's an owl
way
at the
too
end.
cool
He's
for that.
fine. I think, yeah,
I wouldn't be
think,
screaming.
I think Katya heads downstairs quickly.
Okay.
And is just going to politely knock on Miss Morovsky's door, assuming because she's gone to bed now, right? Yeah. He's gonna head back up to Jim's room. Knock on his door.
His door's wide open, and you can see the shower of glass all over the floor.
She's still knocking, like, on the door. Like, can I come in?
Yeah, it's
Are
fine.
you decent?
Not really, but I
Get a
could
towel.
use a hand. Ow. Jim's back is to the door. Left shot's probably even better than back.
She just kind of goes in. I assume this is of supernatural origin.
Yeah, I was taking a fucking shower.
No, really?
Well, yeah. I'm this man. Goes
Dark-skinned gentleman.
What do we get out?
Darkish.
Darkish. Right in front of me, then smashed me straight to fucking pain.
Interesting. I wonder what you did to offend him.
I
don't expect you to know.
Could you mind pulling these glass shards out of my back?
There might be another priority. Hold on. I just heard Miss Morovsky's voice to the other end of this. I'm slightly. It hasn't done anything to hurt her up until now, which is why I didn't break into her room. It seems a little irregular that she would be a threat. I don't know whether the ghost is just playing.
Do you want me to pick the lock and check?
Not really.
Okay. Would you mind starting pulling these?
I think it's
shards out of my back?
actually, as awful as it sounds, I think it's actually worse if we break in and find her body. If she just dies, I mean, she's an old woman. It's harsh, but I don't see why it would hurt her anyway. It's been long enough, and if it really is like her ex-husband or something, if he's been harbouring it for this long, why would he just snap now? I'm not really good with this whole medical thing. I'll send Benjamin up. And I want to go back to that to Benjamin.
Oh, great. His reaction's gonna be fun!
Hello?
Sorry to interrupt you again.
Come in.
Everything alright? No strange sounds?
No. Everything's been fine since you left. Why? Has something happened?
Well, Jim's been attacked in his shower.
What?
I know. It seems to be our spectral friend has finally shown some form of aggression.
No, hang on, wait. What? That's awful.
Yes, it's not good.
Is Jim alright?
He needs a little bit of help.
Oh.
You're very good with delicate procedures, as I've seen from your artwork.
Yes.
He has a few little bits of glass. I was wondering if you'd go help him get them out. I was going to attempt to make contact again with this spectre and find out what it wants.
But, I mean, if it's violent, are you sure that's a good idea?
Well, that's why I want to try and keep it occupied. Speak to it. And I'll be in my room, and hopefully it won't bother you two.
Do you think it could attack any of us? Could it attack there are people staying here.
I know, which is why I'm not sure why it targeted Jim. I've been trying to be very respectful towards it.
But I'm just thinking, I don't know, you can't tell people there's a ghost. It's
No,
ridiculous.
exactly, you can't, so that's why...
But at the same time, if their lives are in danger...
That's why I want to find out what it wants.
Right.
It already through this, I heard Miss Morovsky as if she was speaking in her sleep. She is in her room asleep right now. I don't know whether that was meant as a threat, but I don't see why it would hurt her now after so many years. I just want to try and contact her.
Alright.
Just find out what it wants, if it needs anything to calm it down.
I think if it does anything else... I might actually just do this anyway, but I think if it does anything else like this, I think I'm going to move out for a while.
Alright, but for now, you're probably safest with Jim.
No, surely I'm safest in another building somewhere.
With Jim. But Jim does need a bit of assistance.
I'll go and help him.
Alright. Best
Alright.
of luck. I'll try and keep our friend occupied.
Yes. All right.
And I'm going to head up to my room and leave these two together.
So I guess I'm gonna like, you know, sort of Monty Python sort of, you know, I'll be like into the is the corridor seem safe? Right, shut the door. I'll make my way to I'll probably have heightened senses up. I'll be quite jumpy. I'll make my way to Jim's room.
Okay. You go through the open door to find Jim in plain sight.
Oh, I'll knock on the door
Modestly
like Cathy
covered.
did.
Yeah, modestly covered with a towel, removing bits of glass from his back.
Put them in the sink.
Hello, sorry to bother you. I just wondered if Katia mentioned you might need some help with the glass.
Yeah, I can't reach all the way around.
No, of course. I'll go in.
Out?
I'll shut the door. I'll say, you'll have to take the towel off.
Towel was dropped.
I'll say it's fine. I've done lots of life drawing, and I'll go round the back and I'll start. Does it look bad?
Yeah.
Guys, think of the fan art.
Oh my god.
Oh god. No!
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I mean, there's bits and pieces of a glass sticking out of all of the rear of his arms, the rear of his back.
okay.
Lower
So
back.
I will sort of have a look to see, kind of, almost like where to start and all of this. I will take a moment to have a look. There is a bit in the back of my mind that thinks, would Edmund like a painting of this? Do I think he would? Right. Okay. I'll take a moment to get a sort of to fix it in my mind a little bit.
Alright, alright.
I'll say, shh, don't move because I don't want to make it worse. And I'll start, you know, picking these bits out.
It doesn't take you too long to kind of go through the bits. Most of them are quite large.
Yeah.
I mean, more than anything, it's quite therapeutic, just plucking all these bits out of his back. Particularly when there's not like loads of blood and gore and things
Yeah.
that make you, oof. No, it's more just kind of plucking it out of sponge at this point.
I take it there are no interesting patterns in terms of the glass or the wounds or things.
That just looks like he's been thrown onto glass that's broken.
Yeah.
Pretty much the entirety of the door has come off with it from the sheer force of him being thrown through it.
Whilst I'm plucking these out, I'll say, I tell you what, I'll cover the costs of the repairs.
Thank you.
And did you get any kind of warning at all? I mean, is there anything that we should be watching out for? If it's or was it just an out of the blue?
It was, the apparition seemed to be behind me.
Sorry.
It's alright. It's better I take the hit than you.
Oh, it's very kind of you to say.
Well, it's my fucking job. Part of this coterie.
Is it? I don't know. I don't know if it's anyone's job to get.
I'm the gang. It's
attacked
my
in a shower.
It's my damn job to take the bloody hits. So better me than you.
Is that what your clan do? They get.
My clan is surprisingly fucking tough.
So they're there to get to. I don't know, like bodyguards. They throw themselves in front of people shooting at you and things. That's what they. So I'm going to do another one. There we go.
That's one thing that my clan have been used for. I don't like that I have to do this fucking
It sounds
job.
quite demeaning in a sense. I mean, obviously,
You
if you're willing.
say.
Yes.
Yes, I know you did bloody say, but
Sorry.
just
Sorry.
get him out.
Sorry. Yes. Here we go.
So you proceed through getting all these bits and pieces. There are a few glass splinters that jet out of his flesh, but he's, his body's at the point now where it doesn't really note. It's more the large pieces that kind of would make it impossible for him to lie down without wedging them in. And that would make, if he healed, most of this would probably be pushed out anyway. But you managed to get most of it clear. The room's a mess.
You'll probably need. I would advise sleeping somewhere else because obviously when we do, I will get Mrs. Morosky to arrange repairs. But of course that's going to mean people might come in the day.
In the day, yeah. Thank you for that.
That's all right. Now, while you're here, I was just thinking that I've, because I had to speak to those police officers, I had to make myself breathe. And so, if you did want me to go and check on your sister, I could do it this evening. And if you don't, that's absolutely fine. I'm not putting any pressure. I don't want. If it's your business, that's fine. I'm just mentioning it. And if not, I'll be painting. Well, I'm going to try. I'm not sure. I'm getting a feeling tonight isn't the night.
No, tonight is not the night.
No.
Admittedly, with this fucking injury, as much as I hate it, I'm probably going to need to feed again very fucking soon to be able to heal this shit.
Is he showing signs of hungry, Jim? Or does he look alright?
He looks alright. I mean, he just looks miserable.
Oh, well, I mean, if it's any consolation, you still seem, very much yourself, and maybe that's a good time to think about feeding, because then it will all be very smooth. But I would say the counter argument, of course, is that it is very dangerous out there at the moment. So if you can wait a little bit, I might advise it.
Yeah. So maybe when it's later.
Yes, maybe later. Right. Well, you know where I am, and good luck with all of this.
Where are you headed?
I mean, he's starting to wonder if maybe he's just not going to get any painting done, because it seems a bit tricky to get anywhere.
That's fine.
It's Mrs. Actually, I don't know that Mrs. Morovsky's gone. Oh no, I do know she's gone to
told
sleep.
you both.
So I can't ask her about repairs and things yet. So I'll have to wait till tomorrow.
I mean, it's not late. If she's gone to bed, she hasn't long gone to bed.
Oh yeah, but he's not going to interrupt. It seems rude. She's gone to bed, old lady.
Just assuming that the glass breaking didn't wake her up.
Unless she hasn't already been killed.
Okay, fine. Mysterious voices in my head. What am I? Who am I to argue with you? I will go down.
Argue with Steve.
I'll go down to Mrs. Zarovsky's room.
As he leaves, I'm going to try and heal another point. It's not a failure. So the node's not
Everyone's
healed.
failing tonight.
Wow. Okay. So you head down towards Mrs. Morovsky's room.
Yeah.
And you go up and...
No, I don't go up and knock on the door.
No?
I just go down to the room, I'm going to use heightened senses, I'm going to listen. If she sounds like she's asleep, I'm going to leave it.
You listen.
What was that?
Glancing over towards Moses' door.
Oh, what, the swinging on its...
No, it sounded from within Moses' room.
Okay,
There's no sound coming from the room in front of you.
I'll
Not even breathing.
edge a little closer and listen, in case someone has gone to break in there, I know that Jim's upstairs, so it's definitely not him.
Okay. So you stop and you listen. And you can hear...
Do I think it's possible it's the door just moving on?
Door's not moving.
Oh.
It's coming from downstairs.
Going to take out my walkie-talkie. I'm just going to have a quick glance about. There's no one else in the lobby or anything.
Place is locked.
I'll move a little bit away from the door so I'm not obviously... I'll go, Katia? Hello?
What's the matter? I'm getting set up.
I think something might be in Moses' room.
Yes, it's probably our house guest.
You said you wanted to talk to it?
Yes, I'm just getting set up, but as far as I'm aware, none of us can access Moses... Oh wait, the lock's still broken, isn't it?
It's inside the room now. And
You
the door
could just open the door.
Yes, I'm quite capable of opening a door.
Do you want to do that with me on the line?
No, I want you to come down. Of course. Because what if it's not that? What if it's something else?
You're better... You can go unseen, can't you? Or at least very quiet. I can't do that.
Come down to the lobby then.
If one of the other guests dies, I'm blaming you.
Right, I'll put the walkie-talkie away.
So as you listen, you can hear the footsteps of Katia approaching from the floors above.
Yeah, I'll wait for her to get down to the lobby.
She's going to sound into the
Do I
lobby.
hear her passing as I'm getting dressed?
Oh, I assume so.
Yeah, I'm just walking past.
Everything alright with what you're trying to do?
I was going to... Someone's in Moses' room. Benjamin just wanted me to come and back him up. it's probably just our friend.
Yeah, I'll stay by the. I'll come down, but stay by the stairs.
Wrap yourself up. You don't want to be seen like that.
Okay.
Just get dressed.
So you follow down towards the door, and you hear both of them making an approach behind you. With those guys in tow, are you heading down?
Well, I think they're staying in the lobby.
Yeah, we're chilling.
It's just that they're well within screaming distance should anything happen.
Have you still got heightened senses on?
I do, and I'm about to activate Silence of Death,
Okay.
and then I will go down. I'll creep down.
Okay. So the door opening is unnaturally loud to you as you.
Yeah.
And you think for a moment whoever's down there has just clearly heard you come down. But it makes no sound. It's curious how you could hear it anyway. But you step inside, and as you're descending down the stairs, there is no creak from the stairs that normally comes.
Yeah.
No thud. And as you reach the bottom, you turn and have a look around. Silhouetted at the centre of the room with her back to you, in full 90, is Mrs. Morovsky, just leaning from one foot to the other, swaying, with her hair down, just...
Does she look like she's attending to anything, like watching a screen or interacting with stuff, or she's literally just standing there swaying slightly from side to side?
Moses' screen is on a black screen.
So there's no data showing?
No, but she's just staring at it.
Okay, I'm going to stop using Silence of Death, and I'm also going to stop using Heightened Senses. I think, because it's... Oh, or is it very dark in here otherwise?
Yeah, it's dark.
Oh no, I'll keep Heightened Senses on then.
Save for the light of the screen.
I'll say, oh, Mrs. Morovsky, you don't normally come down the stairs, are you alright?
Do we hear him say this from the lobby? I think I would probably head
Yeah.
quietly.
So you
I
both
can't resist.
go slowly down the stairs.
Following her.
Is there... Are we close enough yet to kind of see anything?
Yeah, as you reach the bottom of the stairs and you look around, Mrs. Morovsky's there.
Would there be anything visible to see the unseen that might not be otherwise?
Mrs. Morovsky's silhouette is larger, but you note it's slightly larger. It's almost as though someone is stood directly on the other side of her, facing towards you, but has no features. It's like a black outline that kind of merges with her own end. So you can see the details of Mrs. Morovsky, but her outer line seems bigger, larger almost. It's like there's a portion of her that has been coloured in only with black, and it's swaying in time with Mrs. Morovsky. And you realise that the swaying, based purely on the silhouette, matches a particular swaying that you've seen upstairs. Even as she's rocking from foot to foot, the swaying of the black silhouette with her is swaying almost as though on a noose.
Her feet are on the floor though.
Yes. But then as you're looking towards the screen, you see in the silhouette of the screen a figure on the other side of Mrs. Morovsky, swaying from a noose, just looking towards where you currently stand in the room.
He's here.
Oh shit.
Just stay calm.
I'll say, Mrs. Morovsky, I'll take one step into the room.
You step around, or you step around Mrs. Morovsky?
No. Oh, sorry. Is she like right by the door?
No. She's like in the centre of the room.
Yeah. No, I'm not going around her. I'm going sort of towards her, and I'll say, why don't I help you get back to bed? It's very late, and I know the stairs are a bit difficult. I'll give you a hand.
As Ben steps forward, I'm just looking at my phone. Text emojis. Ghost in your room.
You devil.
You start going around the side of Mrs. Morovsky, and there's no reaction from her as you speak. And then as you come around, you realise that her eyes are kind of open and kind of almost like she's looking up and then looking down, looking up, looking
like
down,
she's
looking
asleep.
up, looking down, but rapidly going up and down.
Yeah.
And you realise that she is mouthing something that you can't hear.
Can I try and read her lips with?
Try. Say intelligence plus investigation. No, insight.
Okay. Ooh, 4 successes.
Nice.
That was unexpected.
4 successes.
Yeah.
She's saying, "You did it. You 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 did it."
Okay. So I'll
And then halfway through, since she got 4, she stopped. And then she starts speaking again, and she goes, "He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming." And then as you reach out and put your hands on her, she stops and just looks over towards you, past you, and goes, "He's here, he's here, he's here, he's here, he's here."
I'm gonna say, "Come on, Mrs. Mosky, let's go!" And I'm gonna try and take her out of the room as fast as possible.
Okay.
Why my room?
So you pick up Mrs. Mosky, and she's a frail thing.
I mean, I'm trying to usher her out. Yeah.
I mean, you usher her towards the door, and as she goes, the moment that you move her, her eyes stop rapidly going, and she stops mouthing the words. But there's no response. She moves, and then catching out of the corner of your eye, you can see the swaying just stop, and then almost rotate, almost as though the rope is slowly twisting, until he's facing in the direction that you're facing, and then the swaying just starts again.
Take her back to her room then.
I will escort her back to her room.
Okay. Mrs. Morovsky goes with no protest, no response, and you take her back towards her bed, and there's one area of her bed that's open, where the duvet's been pulled back from where she got up, and you put her back into the bed, and the moment that she's tucked back in with the cover, her eyes stop twitching, and she just goes to sleep.
Cool.
Or lulls back into the sleep that she was in.
What's the play here?
Is still here. I'm watching him. I think something very sad happened here.
Any idea what?
I want to speak to him, but I'm not sure how. It might be best if you wait in the lobby. Moses should be back soon.
Do you want me to send him down, or do you want me to hold him back?
I think you'll hear if it tries to hurt me. But maybe until then it's best if I just try speak alone. It might disappear in a moment, but I want to see if there's anything I can do to help.
Right. Sure, cool. I'll be within earshot. Slowly back up the stairs.
Okay. You head back up the stairs, the creaking now echoing in this quiet room. And although it makes no sound, you can hear no noise, and there's nothing even on the ceiling that the noose could hang from. You can just see the reflection just swaying. And it's clear, although you can't see the full figure, not fully, no, certainly not in detail, from the way that the feet are turned, it's clear that this individual is at least half a meter in front of you and looking at you. And it's just swaying. You can't see it so much as you can see the reflection in the mirror, in the screen. So you're looking straight at the screen and you can just see a figure in front of you swaying. And you can see yourself every time it sways past you. Otherwise it makes no sound and there's no response. And you stay that way for a while. Meanwhile,
in the world of the living and undead, but not dead, no ghosts. No ghosts.
Not yet.
So, I need you to make for me a dexterity plus stealth roll. Actually, no, a resolve plus stealth. Trust me, just do it.
Yeah. No. It's like, because this is gonna be probably for a while. That is 2 successes.
You know, the willpower as well.
I don't want to spend willpower right now. I am still recovering, so I don't want to impair myself like an idiot.
How much?
2 successes.
Okay. You begin following these individuals as best as you can. And they're not moving at a quick pace, so it's not difficult. But there are individuals that are littering the streets, which you kind of... They will move to get out your way, but every time that you have to slow your pace to ensure that you don't collide with them, they're getting a few steps ahead. So you have to quicken your pace to try and catch up. And you're turning down avenues which you know now take you out of your domain. And they're going further and further, almost towards the subway tunnels, but then they stop. They pause by what looks to be a post office and stop close to it, almost as though they're looking inside. And they're saying something softly to each other. And then a few minutes later, they continue on, going back towards a park. The park that you now recognise that they are looping around towards. And at this hour, there isn't any sign of the police officer or his companion, at least not that you can see as you enter in after these individuals. And then they stop and move over towards a bench and sit there for a good half an hour. Just sitting.
Without saying a word.
Without saying a word. Just sitting and waiting. And then they get back up. They move over, loop back around in the direction of where their car was. And you follow them, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And it's when you get back to the car, as you start turning around the corner, the first thing you see is him just sat at the back of his car. And then as you turn the corner, the girl that you've been tailing is on the far side of the corner, and she's staring at you as you come round.
Staring at me?
Yeah.
Just stare back.
Okay. Are you attempting to dodge?
Of course.
Okay. Not fight back.
Actually, yes, I attempt to fight back.
Okay.
It would be better.
I was happy I was polite.
That is 2 successes.
Okay.
2 miserable successes.
So, as she reaches for you, you yank away, and then almost is pissed that you've tried to do it. She grabs you by the lower arm, twists your arm, and then just wallops you in the throat with her knuckles kind of extended. Almost, if you were living, she would have snapped your windpipe shut.
Okay.
It's 2 points of superficial,
Yeah.
half down to 1.
That's lucky.
And then as she smacks you, she pushes you forwards further into the car park, and your obfuscate drops.
Yeah, of course.
And the individual that's watching you just looks over towards his companion and then just gets off the back of the car and then just goes,
I heal without going hungry.
Yeah.
nice. You feel your windpipe snap back
Yeah,
out.
because I probably will need to talk. Okay. This is still there, okay. Still probably someone in the streets at some point.
Why are you following me?
What are you? I am assuming this conversation happening inside the car?
No.
No?
No, it's empty. The car park.
In the car park, which is
But it's close to the car. They're not like saying it loud.
Yeah.
It's more of a conversation you can hear, like in a meter and a half.
What are you?
Just a guy looking for someone.
And I look at Amy. You?
She says nothing. She just stares at you. Do you know Alicia?
You're not just a guy. Just a guy wouldn't have been able to see me.
Who said I saw you?
Just a girl wouldn't have been able to even have a swing at me. So, what are you? And then I'll tell you whatever it is that you're looking for. You know what I am, I assume.
Oh yeah.
This is my territory.
Is it?
I've been stooping around.
How much do you want to bet that it's yours?
Well, not this particular area. Over there where you were stooping earlier. I actually Don't have any attachment to this particular car park.
Are you Moses?
Who's asking?
Someone that is going to have a very severe reaction depending on your answer. Are you Moses?
You haven't even told me what are
I'll
you.
tell you afterwards. Are you Moses?
Yes. How dead I am. How dead am I?
So you do know Alicia?
I have seen her. I met her once about, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago.
Where?
In a social event. I was not even... Hey, I went there. She showed up. I had no idea who she was. She wanted to have a chat.
Looks over towards past your shoulder.
I look at Amy. What was her reaction?
She's very close to being behind you. Not like uncomfortably close, but she's in your blind corner.
No, every time she moves, I move away and I make it uncomfortable. Like, you do it. If you're gonna kick my ass, I'm not gonna stop you. But after all this line of questioning, then you have to answer mine. Quid pro quo.
You're so fucking lucky you're Moses.
That has been said.
Amy, you can go back. I got this. She looks around at him and he's... Tell them I'll be back in a minute.
Tell whom? Sorry, no, it was Carlos who didn't hear.
Tell them I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, okay, cool.
And she goes and steps towards the car, opens the car door. He goes, yeah, I'll walk. Fuck off.
Bye, Amy. Love the dress.
She gets in the car, pulls back, and takes off.
Okay.
So what are you to Alicia?
Well, apparently... Well, I am nothing, but apparently I amuse her. I have no idea. The only thing I am is another kindred in this city. I have no direct connection to her. I know her child.
Jim. Where is Jim Woods?
I have no idea. Like, I could get you his phone number if you want to get in touch with him. But if you are looking for Alicia, then you must know her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is where I start my line of questioning before I continue answering yours. Who are you? And don't go with that Graham McEwen whatever bullshit. Who are you to Alicia? You seem to know an awful lot about us.
Well, I have a lot of history with her.
That is very non-answering the question.
Then ask something a bit more specific.
Okay, what are you to her?
Depends on the day.
What is she for you? What is she to you?
Depends on the day.
Cool. Do you have any special relationship?
I gutted her once.
Fair. How did you meet?
She took an unhealthy interest in a kin of mine.
Now my next question. What are you? What is Amy?
I'm Guru.
I thought your name was Graham.
You like to call us lupines.
Color me impressed. Because I have no idea if I believe you or not. But I've seen so much shit lately that I'm very inclined to give you the benefit of the doubt all the way.
Is only by virtue of your name that I haven't forced the answers I want out of you.
And I have no intention of have them pried out of me, because if you keep asking nicely, I will keep on answering as long as you do the same. Your turn. What's your next question? As I said, quid pro quo.
Does Jim stay at that hotel?
Yeah, occasionally.
Occasionally, how occasionally?
Well, he's broke. He never has any cash. And we let him stay there sort of like free room and board. So lately, a lot. Do you have any bone to pick with Jim?
When will he be back?
You haven't answered.
When will he be back?
You haven't answered my question. Do you have a bone to pick with him?
When will he be back?
Probably before dawn. Probably.
Right.
You have a bone to pick with him?
Depends.
No. I am giving you very straight answers.
Watch your fucking self, Leech.
My what?
Watch yourself.
I'm watching myself, but I'm being straightforward to you. Right now, that hotel is also where I live. So I want to know if you have a bone to pick with a guy that lives there. Because there's more than one person living there.
I only care about one of them.
Yeah. There's a thing. I also only care about one of them, and that's me. So I don't want to be in the middle of a rampage.
Just sleep somewhere else.
Thanks. That's the kind of answer I was looking for. Now.
He takes a step towards you. And it suddenly becomes uncomfortably clear to you just how large this individual is.
I've been scared the whole time. I'm just trying to hold it.
He is very close to you. And he leans in, almost as though he's whispering something to you. But when he speaks, there's a clarity which could easily carry across this entire parking lot if you wanted it to. When you see Alicia next, you better get on your knees and fucking thank her. I have never shown this much fucking restraint next to one of you. So, you better get with the thanks.
Anything else I can do for you?
Yeah. Get the fuck out of my way.
Good evening, Graham. And I unseen passage out. I walk behind him. I just say, please don't kill the others. And unseen presence behind him.
He waits until you've gone.
Without going hungry.
And then just starts moving.
And forward. I start running. When I am about 2 blocks away, I use my potence to jump across roads if need be. Oh, traffic, whatever, I just jump over it. And try to get phone call straight to Katya.
Bzzzt. Bzzzt.
I just threw my phone up the stairs to the basement, as in like Kim.
Hello?
Jim,
Yeah?
you, Katya, Benjamin, everybody out. Someone's gonna attack the Haven. Out now! And I just keep running until I get to the.
Kaya!
I'll be back. All right. I want to help you. I'm gonna find out what's wrong, and I'm gonna help you. Oh, for fuck's sake! I'm sorry, and I turn and leave.
Up the stairs.
Moses says we're about to become under attack, and apparently we need to get the fuck out of here.
Okay, Moses, I believe. Hold on.
Ben!
I've got
So am I coming out of Mrs. Morovsky's room? Right now?
Out of the basement. Oh, as you're coming out of Mr. Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say yes.
Moses
Actually,
says-
sorry, I've got heightened senses. I've probably heard.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll say yes, and I'll run upstairs to my room as fast as I can, save the painting, and then get the hell out of there.
I'm grabbing the True Faith book and any other incriminating Masquerade breaching books, which I don't think I have that many because most of them are concealed in the Chantry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When I.
Is there anything else you want to grab out from before you
I
go?
retrieve the gun.
Well, I'm running all the way to the crossed hands because that's where my motorcycle is.
I think you still have the gun.
Yep.
Yeah, you still
I
got the
never give
gun.
it back. I retrieve the gun.
Yeah, basically anything Masquerade breaching, I would take with me. And I'd probably. It looks a bit weird, so I would probably scatter the spiders. So let them... Goodbye, James. Goodbye,
Severe reluctance. So you make your way back. You do your individual bits and pieces, and then start coming down the stairs, coming out just as you would have arrived back towards your bike.
I jump downstairs straight to my room.
Okay.
Flare up the computer. Initiate transfer protocol. Everything, like the succession of passwords, everything to my Haven.
This is great. They've made you forget about the ghost in your room.
Well, I haven't even looked at my phone. I have not seen the text.
Okay.
I am transferring all the information and data that I have there into one of the backup drivers in my secure server in my other Haven. There. And I just initiate that, and then a complete memory wipe. A format / asterisk dot asterisk.
Okay. So
it's backup, do that, grab the helmet, nothing else incriminating. I grabbed the disc one with the Johnny Cash CD.
Okay. Okay.
Because I do remember stuff that was stolen and brought to my room. And I'm taking that shit out. Triple lock the exit to the tunnels. And
Okay.
the safe door. Like everything is like, let's
Stamina plus athletics. 'cause
Yeah,
this is a lot
sure.
of stuff that you're doing.
Yes, I'm forcing myself to do all this stuff. Here you go, 2 successes.
Okay. So you can hear the mad flurry of activity downstairs as Moses rapidly runs as you guys have started making your way out. Where are you all gathering?
Well, I'm just going to my car.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to wait in the lobby for Moses.
Yeah.
What's going on? I was interrupted.
Okay, and Jim?
Get here.
Okay. Wits plus awareness.
Me. Oh, it's fucking... Okay.
Here come the wolves, here come the wolves.
I will have heightened senses up, FYI.
Okay.
I'm assuming that counts, because I had it. I'm at full...
They're coming for you.
Full panic. 4.
4.
Yeah.
The individual that you saw earlier
Yeah.
is sat back at the bus stop, watching the building.
Okay.
As you are going through the car, you glance back over towards the door just as these guys come up, and as the door opens, and you guys, I'm assuming you're making your way out?
I mean, we're still
Yeah,
in
we're
the
still
lobby
in the
waiting
lobby,
for
yeah.
Moses.
Okay, so when you come back upstairs,
Okay. So I'm coming back the stairs and I go like...
I'm assuming that by the time he's done all of that, I'm... As in terms of time...
it depends. Are you leaving or are you stopping when you see
I'm
this
getting
guy?
in my car, and I'm driving off.
Okay.
I'm doing it as... I'm not running out to my car, but I'm walking purposefully with my painting, put it carefully in the back, get in. If no one's called me or said anything, I'm gone.
Okay. So
Into
you
the
start
wind.
taking off down the road, and you see coming around the corner a woman that just sits down next to the individual that is just watching
Okay.
the hotel.
There's one thing I'd like to do then, if it's okay.
Okay.
With my walkie-talkie, go, best go out the back.
I love those walkie-talkies.
It's a new thing.
Super low tech, very Benjamin friendly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better,
That
best
face,
go
you
out.
just ruined all of his plans.
No, you don't. There's like another 10 of them out the back.
Yeah.
The Portillion, just down the tunnels. We're escaping. And that go back, open, like, slide, whatever, like, the secret exit, and then lock it from the inside.
Okay.
And then I turn to Jim and go, here, the dirt bag I've been asking you to give me would have been really helpful. And then I start running down the tunnels. Like,
what the fuck is coming after us?
Just before we
after you, lupines.
What?
Now I got them on thrusters. Nitro. I start running, navigating the maze of tunnels.
I'm showing you. Go. Fucking go.
Katya running with her books.
I haven't got that many. It's not like a library.
Okay, that's good. I am literally running towards where we hunted for rats.
Okay.
Because that's the best intersection. If we get there, I can call a gazillion rats to cover our tracks. Also, it's on the way out to the domain, out of the domain.
Wait, isn't it better if we split up?
Not right now, unless you want to get lost in this place.
No, I mean before we. It's too late. Okay, fine. Bye.
Okay. So you begin making your way down these tunnels at a quick pace, with Moses's warning of lupines.
Yeah, I mean, I assume he would believe me straight off the bat because of this weird relationship, Alicia and... I'm sorry. You were saying?
You make your way down these tunnels, echoing footfalls as an angry Katya follows on after you.
What supernatural haven't you pissed off?
I didn't try and fucking piss him off. I've seen one once.
I have never been anyone more oblivious than you to our own personal footprint.
I was fucking kind.
Can you stop arguing and run faster?
Go.
Like,
I'm
not
going.
stopped. Like, I am trying to get to that corner. Like, that intersection that is near, like, an alleyway, dumpsters, and everything.
Okay.
And I go like, okay. So, I'm gonna go up. Well, if you want to, you can go up. I'll stay here in the tunnels, and I'll get lost on the way to the underground. But you can open that crate, go into the alleyway, and split.
Me.
All three of us needs to split.
Oh, quite a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, you're driving off, and as you're kind of glancing back, you realise that there has been a car that has been following you for the past few roads. And looking into the back, you realise that there's a woman with closely shorn hair that's just following you. She looks quite young, and every turning that you do, she's following.
Oh no, they're gonna.
And that's where we're going to end. So, was there any bits and pieces we needed to round off with? Are we all good?
No, I think we're all good.
We'll just leave the audience like, what?
Apologies, guys.
Fuck's sake, Jim.
Thank you very much, guys, for joining us. We will see you next week for episode 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might need a backup characters soon, guys.
That was exactly my thought. Like, yeah, I'm talking to lupines.
I had a great conversation with a lupine. It was so polite.
Yeah, it was amazing, and I had my best poker and only poker face.
He lied when he said he'd never been that merciful to one of us. He had. Sorry, we're meant to be saying goodbye. We're too
Thank you very much, guys. Bye.
Thanks for watching this episode of Blood on the Thames. If you'd like to keep up with all the latest news, follow us on Twitter and Facebook and ShrekNet, the links to which are down below. And remember, if you want to join us live, be sure to tune in every Monday at 7 p.m. on Twitch. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.